Hello and welcome to Mana and Monsters, an Innistrad one-shot. We are doing this little adventure in honor of the Innistrad Remastered set that is going to be dropping tomorrow, as of when of this goes up. We wanted to celebrate the story of Magic's spookiest plane by delving into the history of it, some of the creatures, and some of the mystery that this plane has to offer. And we are doing this by creating a sort of TTRPG that uses these Magic the Gathering packs for this set that have been sent to us by Wizards of the Coast. Thank you so much. And I will be using these regular play boosters. My other players here will be using the collector's ones, but it should be fun no matter what packs you're cracking. So I guess I will first introduce the other players of this game who helped me develop this play system and will be my subjects, players in this game. We'll How about we start with Evan, if you want to introduce yourself, where folks can find you online, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Evan, otherwise known as Dark Pack Cosplay. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet as Dark Pack Cosplay. I'm an MTG cosplayer, content creator, MTG ambassador when the occasion fits me. And yeah, those are the places you can find me.
All right, Misha, you're next on my screen.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am Magic Michimigo. I am also a Magic the Gathering cosplayer, content creator, silly little guy on the internet, the works. Um, yeah, what else are we supposed to say today? Just who we are, what we do?
Whatever you like. Fun fact if you want.
Ooh, fun fact. The first few my first Innistrad sets were Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. So coming to Innistrad, this has been really nice because I get to dive into the other Innistrad sets that I didn't experience when they first came out. So that's my fun fact.
All right, Brendan, how about you?
Hi friends, I'm MTG Baron. I make short form content on the internets, primarily commander-based skits. You could find me on still TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're still kicking.
YouTube Shorts. Yeah, still kicking, and I'm
streaming
3 times. Yeah, and I'm streaming 3 times a week as well. My fun fact is, I have vampire teeth, but I will not be playing a vampire today. So
yes, we want to be able to understand what you're saying.
I did buy vampire teeth, and then I got home and I was like, well, what if I didn't?
I thought about it, and then I remembered what I sound like with them in, and decided not to.
blah, blah, blah.
All right, and last but not least, Nick, that's you. Go ahead. Go for it.
I was waiting for you to say my name.
Oh, Nick, go.
The anticipation, it's building, it's building. Yes, I'm Nick, or Yoggoth, all over the internet there, doing Magic the Gathering content, cosplay, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's see here. Fun fact, so far I've seen Nosferatu twice in theaters. That's my fun vampire fact of the day.
Was it better the second time?
Yes, it actually was better the second time.
And did you get the popcorn bucket?
I did not get the popcorn. I've missed out on this entire popcorn bucket craze that's sweeping the nation.
I feel like that'd be a really good deck box.
I've seen people use it as deck boxes and also makeup boxes, so I really wanted one, but they were out at the theater I went to.
Yeah, I didn't see them at the theater I went to either.
Yeah.
Same.
I have not seen Nosferatu yet, but my sister says I would really, really like it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I think she's right.
Learning a lot about Misha today.
I was also thinking about getting Vampire Fangs, but I have a feeling that my character is already going to be unintelligible with the accent that I'm going to be doing, so there's no need to make it even more unintelligible. So
we all had the same thought. Yeah.
I'm so ready for this. I love your accents for your characters. This is going to be great.
Yeah, we all have a healthy love for vampires and all things spooky, so it seemed like the perfect group for this little one-shot. Just a brief rundown of how this works. Everyone is using these Innistrad packs. Each player has selected a character from the set to represent them, with the power and toughness of that character serving as the brain and the brawn stat, and they can add packs from their hand, which is an open pack of these cards, to raise their score and beat certain checks. And we'll go over combat. It's a little different, but we'll go over that when we get there. So I guess we'll jump right into it. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
All right. We begin our story in the Stensian countryside, where a lone rider gazes up on the towering peaks of the Gyre Reach. These jagged cliffs took your breath away when you first descended into the valley, in the same way that the spire atop the Cathedral of Avacyn did the first time you saw it illuminated against the Thraben night. Now, after several long days of travel, they all start to look the same, though the ruins of a great manor do catch your attention atop one cliff. You take advantage of your ample free time to mentally recount the details of your mission yet again. The horse that was once spooked by your more artificial elements now plods steadily forward, encouraged by your absent-minded pats. Brendan, would you like to describe your character further?
Yes, I appear as a metallic plated humanoid with a very large kind of a conquistador's hat that's swooping back behind me. I billow behind me a large cape with Avacyn's sigil upon it. I ride alone, and I am very thorough with my job. I'm very adamant to scan every detail and to take in the scenery and the people around me.
All right. With the click of your tongue, you direct your loyal steed into a sparse tree line that quickly thickens into a dense wood. Thick foliage overhead blocks out the sunlight, forcing you to light the lantern that dangles from your pack, clinking lightly with the jostling of your mount. Creatures, or perhaps beasts, or perhaps worse, rustle the brush around you, and you grip the hilt of your weapon a little tighter. What kind of weapon does your character carry?
I like to carry for show a sword at my side to look a little bit more knightly, to look a little bit more appearance wise. But if you are an onlooker on me and you ever see me see a threat, I very quickly whip out my arms, and you can see my arms slowly transform into weapons, like some long blades, and then I would return them back to my hands as I feel less threatened.
Very interesting. Finally, the forest relents, and you ride out into an open glade. A modest stone cottage sits in its center, slowly being reclaimed by the overgrowth. You are struck immediately by the stark contrast between this home and the rockaway carriage parked along the path out front. While the decor along the rock walls surrounding the property is decided randomly by weather and vegetation, each piece of silver filigree on the deep crimson carriage is placed with the utmost care, perfectly complementing the polished hardware on the reins and harness. A pale man leans casually against the outside of the carriage, turning to peer over his coat's high collar to look at you. Nick, would you like to describe your character further?
Yes, so you see sort of gangly, pale figure dressed in all black, uh, sort of noble garb, very high aristocrat. Um, you can tell immediately that this is an undead, this is a vampire. You know, one that's been around a long time.
All right. You would also see that inside the carriage, a glowing lantern illuminates an elegant silhouette. Summoned by the sound of your horse in the quiet forest, the figure opens the carriage door with a click and steps down beside the two of you, careful to keep the hem of her skirt from dragging in the mud. Similarly pale, she looks the newcomer up and down with calculating yet playful eyes. Misha, would you like to describe your character further?
Yes, I have a long black gown with just like little specks of red. They look like petals, but like very dark red petals. And um, she looks a little snobby, a little like she doesn't really want to be here. Like it's dirty and gross, and she's not really accustomed to that. She likes the glam. She likes, the big galas and things like that. She doesn't really like being outside in dirt, and isn't very happy to be here.
All right, Brendan, you come upon these two individuals. What would you like to do? Or any
Hello,
of you?
friends. My name is Katharos. What are you guys doing here? You look a little bit different than the surrounding area.
We look a little bit different. Did you not just hear yourself speak? I would say you're the one that's a little different here, friend.
Well, I just traveled into town. I wondered if you guys did the same.
We have traveled here. Summoned we were.
I introduced myself. I would like you guys to introduce yourself too, please.
You may call me Vanessa.
Nice to meet you, Vanessa, and you, my friend.
I am the Marquis Corvo.
I'm sorry. That language did not recognize in my head. What was your name again?
Marquis Corvo.
I'm going to call you Marky. Thank you.
All right, looking
And
around.
there's-
Are you guys heading into town?
Back into town, yes.
The letters that two of you have received, Brandon, you were not shown the letter, you were just sent on your way, have directed you to this house specifically, though you know the town is farther in.
Were you invited, sir? Or did you just stumble upon this place?
I came here by request of some troublesome news. Are
And
you
what-
guys the ones that send the request?
We did not. What news were you requested for?
I merely just serve a purpose that's to solve problems. And a problem arose here, and the church deemed it worthy for my appearance. So that is why I came here today. If you guys are not the ones that send the letter, I think I need to go find the person who sent for me.
I'd like to lean over, but not too far over, to Colro, and be like, did he just say that he's with the church?
It sound like that. However, I've never seen such a creature before.
Yeah, I have not either. Then again, I've also not really seen too many creatures that look like you, so I'm a little hesitant around both of you.
Should we go inside and see if we can discover more?
Yeah, there's no use in us waiting out here. My dress might get dirty, so we should go inside.
Follow me. And I immediately head inside.
All right. So you turn to the stone cottage, which is illuminated with a warm glow, and a thin trail of smoke coils out of the chimney. Approaching the front door, you notice that a scrap of parchment has been nailed to its worn wooden surface. It reads, "Welcome, guests. I have stepped out to tend to a matter in town and will return within the day. Please make yourself at home and help yourself to any refreshments." You going in?
Going in.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I'm going in.
Yep.
You step into the main room of the cottage, cluttered in a manner that many would describe as cozy. Against the far wall, embers crackle low in a fireplace, casting the long shadow of a high-backed armchair across the wooden floor. At the sound of the door, the figure in the chair sets a steaming cup on the side table and gets to their feet, turning to face the group. Evan, would you like to describe your character?
Sure. So, Dr. Brundle is an unassuming character, wearing the silver trinkets of an experimenter, someone that works in a laboratory, very light gray, whitish skin from all the time he spends inside his laboratory, not out in the limited sunlight that is on Innistrad. You can see also adorned across his belt little cages and almost like tiny little biomes with little insects floating around inside of them. Looks like he has an entire ecosystem on his belt, so to speak. And probably he is putting his tea down, but in another hand he has a praying mantis that he was odling and cooing at, and is slowly putting that back into its little enclosure on his belt as he turns to look at you all.
Oh, great. Another interesting person. This time with an entire entire little collection of creepy crawlies.
Yes, my specimens, my children, as I like to call them. I assume you all were called here for the same reason, waiting for our honored invitee to return to this cottage.
The
Hello,
two
friend.
of us.
My name is Catharos. What is
Cathros.
your name?
I am Dr. Brundle, expert in the, we'll say the insects of Innistrad. And you two? Looking at the two vampires.
The very obvious vampires.
Yes.
Yes, we were both called here as well by our respective families. So we're here
Yes,
to assist.
my letter wasn't directly addressed to me, but it piqued my interest, so I'm here to assist in any way that I possibly can.
We weren't given too much information other than some sort of ancient evil has awoken, and that just sounds a little ominous and vague. So, did you receive any other information aside from ominous old evil?
Unfortunately, my letter was just as vague, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to study something new, so I had to come.
This is very intriguing when you receive a letter such as this. You must investigate and discover the source.
Yes, of course, and document as much as we possibly can.
I just want to get out of this as quickly as I can and go back home. So whatever it takes.
Colorado's gonna
Kind of
sort
doing.
of
Yeah, go ahead.
Colorado's gonna sort of look around the room or like sort of pace around and examine the room a little bit more.
Sure. There's the fireplace with the rug and a single armchair that Dr. Brundle was sitting in. Table pushed up against the wall under the window, which has a teacups on it, or mugs if you would like to help yourself to the kettle on the fire. Also, a handwritten letter has been laid out on the table. Herbs hanging above the window. There's a bookshelf with a few different tomes on it, and a portrait, and a small bed in the corner that is made neatly.
Yeah, I'm looking around for any like hint of possible religious like signs of religion within this area. If there's like any scrap of like maybe research or like practice.
Can I get a brain check, please? Which would be the
Ooh.
power of your
Ooh, first-
creature
Crack that pack.
plus
Crack that pack.
Yes, so the first pack they can look at, and then for brain checks you can select blue or white cards or brown or not brown, blue or white cards or black cards, which are wild cards that you can apply to your brain check.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, that's a nice one. I see that Get Rog
See
monster.
the Get Rog.
Ooh, and your boy.
Soren.
Sexy
Hey,
Soren.
yo.
Very
So-
nice.
I already have a blue card on the front, so can I? So I just use the blue card on the front.
Yep, so it'll be
Yeah.
your creature's power plus the mana cost of that blue card.
Okay, so an 8.
An 8. Oh, very good. So
Pretty
you
good,
would
pretty good.
you would find that on the bookshelf there is a collection of Abyssinian texts. Like there's not really a holy book, but like a lot of teachings that have been collected into this. And back by the bed, there is the Abyssinian symbol on a scrap of fabric that looks like it was attached at one point to like a robe or maybe like a banner, but has been cut off and turned into a sort of a keepsake.
Okay.
So
And
you would feel
when
at
I
home
look
with
through,
these.
like, yeah. And so when I ever look around the premise, does it look like it was ever attempted to be warded as well by like Abyssinian symbols?
You don't get a lot of arcane um, vibes from this place. It all seems very practical. The one of the other books on the shelf is about using different. Because your brain check was so good, I'll let you have that. One of the books is there's one on anatomy and another on embalming instructions with like herbs and stuff. So it's very practical, less arcane in this establishment.
This individual seems to be very simple in nature. I've already read all these books, but it makes me feel good that they at least know what they're talking about to summon us here.
I'd like to walk around and just kind of like browse and maybe like rub my finger against like a table just to see if this place looks like anyone's been here recently or if it's dirty.
There is dust on the bookshelves and on the fireplace, but the table is clean. The letter that sits out there it's faded. The ink is faded. It looks like it's been sitting there a long time. Like you set it down and forgot it kind of thing. But the cups look clean. It seems relatively tidy. It's not it's not like anything by your standards. Like you would never, but it's fine.
It seems this person could use a good housekeeper, but there's a letter sitting out here. Can I open it and see like I'm a little snoopy. Just want to
Yeah, it is laying out like out of its envelope, so it's like oh no, I looked at it. You could easily
Like
do
I
that.
probably opened it and looked
Ooh.
at
Yeah.
it.
What would this say?
It seems to be it's like a hastily kind of like maybe someone wrote out a ton of these notes and sent them in a bunch of different directions. From Gaia Reach Sanitarium, just letting the locals know, the surrounding villages know that 2 patients have escaped recently, that they are considered quite eccentric and a little dangerous, and to just like lock your doors at night. If you see people who look like they don't belong, let us know. No pictures or anything. Not really helpful, but
I'm gonna read this letter, but not out loud. And I'm gonna look at Dr. Brundle and what was it? Brendan Cathros?
Catharos, yeah.
Cathros. I'm gonna look at the 2 of them like possibly. Like I'm trying to see if there are any defining features for the 2 release patients, and be like try to see like are these them? Should I be worried?
As you look over in the corner too, like I've kind of like moved myself into the corner of the room and I've pulled out like a big scarab beetle and I've been just slowly petting the thorax of it and just paying attention to it and no one else in the room.
Vanessa's very much. I think this one's for sure. The robot maybe hit or miss.
I'm just residing like right at the front door. I'm like an inch away from the front door waiting for it to open, just standing there, like not moving.
Maybe not that one. That one seems like more like a household appliance, but this one over here, I'll keep my eye on him.
this one's giving more microwave. I think he's fine.
Giving microwave.
Big microwave.
I will tuck this letter away, put it back in its envelope. I'm like, just a letter saying that there's a sanitarium near here, so beware of any of the people that may have escaped. No details.
Yeah, it's a very
long should-
unhelpful letter. It's just kind of saying like, hey, there's danger. There you go.
How long should we wait here to assume that the person is not coming back and might have deceased?
I mean,
How-
deceased seems a little bit of a jump, but this place doesn't look like it's been gone too long. Like they could dust more, but it doesn't look as if no one's been here.
I'm with the robot. I think everyone is deceased from the get-go. That is my baseline in Innistrad.
Well, if they were smart enough to assemble us, we'd like to hope they'd have some survival skills. Emma, how long have I been in this building prior to my other friend's arrival?
Maybe an hour or 2, not super long.
Oh, 2. Alright, I convey that over to them that it's only been like an hour or 2. And are there other rooms other than this like main front room with like the table and stuff? Is there like bedrooms or like a
Not
washroom or anything like that
not really.
off to the side?
It's a main, like, just one kind of big building. Like, if you lean and look
Sure.
out the window, you can see there's kind of like an outhouse area. There's another building that seems to be like built into the ground. But,
Hmm.
but you,
Well, I've mostly spent my time in these smaller dwellings that we were told to wait at. I haven't had a chance to explore around the property, you know. Curious minds in Innistrad tend to end up in the ground and then back up as the threat, killing things, putting things in the ground.
A lot of in again, out again. I know what you mean.
Yes, you two are very intimate with it, I'm sure.
Should we check out the rest of the property?
Be my guest. I'm gonna look around and see if our wonderful host had left us anything to drink, because I need one for sure.
Indeed.
I'll
Colorado's
join
gonna
you to
go.
protect you, Marky.
Colorado's gonna go take a walk around the grounds and maybe check out that other building.
all right. Vanessa, Misha. As
Mhm.
if you look around the house, you will not find any alcohol if that's what you're looking for. There is tea on the kettle, or like a kettle over the fireplace that is mostly full, except for the cup that Dr. Brundle took. But
She will
nothing
sigh a
stronger.
big sigh of disappointment that there's no alcohol and will settle for tea.
Right. He left out
I'm
sugar
sure not
for
the
you.
drink you're looking for in particular, but it should do your thirst for now, at least until you find your next victim. So I laugh and then I start following the other vampire and the construct outside.
She's gonna be like meme like get away from him like my next victim, a bottle of alcohol, please.
All right, so the three of you are going outside.
yeah, yeah.
As you're leaving, you actually you step out and you walk around the side of the house to find that a carriage has, or not a carriage. That's more of what the vampire showed up in. This is a wagon.
Mhm.
A wagon with a
Sure.
single horse has pulled in behind the house towards that small building, and a hooded figure is climbing down. He notices you, kind of does a double take as he catches
Mhm.
sight of you, and raises a hand to greet you, and starts moving in your direction. Um, Pulling the hood down, he reveals a grizzled human man whose long and tumultuous life is written in the lines of his face, both by time and by blade. His simple linen garb is faded and worn, making the polished silver chain around his neck almost startling as it catches the lamp. He has a lantern hanging from his wagon. He offers a warm smile and extends a hand while his eyes scan you cautiously.
Are you our mysterious benefactor?
I am indeed. My name is Anselm. I'm very happy that you could make it. Uh, we've been in dire need of help for some time now. Is this all of you?
No, come back in. We'll go back inside and meet with the rest of our party here.
All right. He goes back and grabs his lantern and then follows you back to the house.
I'll hear them walk in like within like a minute and be like, well, that was quick.
So you would see that
Emma,
they're
quick question.
yes.
Could I attempt to have one of my little bugs go check out the extra like building while we're like walking up and have it report back to me? Could I attempt to roll for that? Probably like a mind stat sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what would stealth be. Or you're trying to be sneaky with the bug.
Yeah, probably be.
What do you
That's
think?
like
Maybe
more
that could be one
physical
of your
one.
like wild black cards since it's like a
Sure, a black or a colorless. Well,
Black or colorless, sure.
I forgot to mention one of the rules is that if an other player wants to donate a colorless card to the cause to raise the roll, so to speak, that is possible. But the only check we've had so far was very good. So
So I should open a pack just to have one on hand.
right.
Yeah, so you
I'm
have-
opening mine right now.
yep. So you'll have your hand that you can look at, so you can like think about what cards you want to use. Like maybe if you had an
Yeah,
8 cost
yeah.
blue card, maybe you want to save that for a harder check. But I don't rule your life.
Interesting. Wow. That's a fun one.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
That's a very, very
I've got
nice
a
one.
colorless card I can help you with a little bit. I got a chalice
Sure.
of life.
I probably will need it because the biggest value thing I got right now is a collective brutality, so that'd be
Ooh.
2 mana.
Look at that.
Hey, that
I,
looks
I
familiar.
found
Hey,
one of our
it's
party
me!
members.
It's me.
Ooh, I got
There you go.
a beautiful foil heartless summoning.
Mm.
Oh, okay, okay.
That. Oh, a little
Old
retro. This is just turned into a pack opening stream.
Yeah.
Oh.
Intermission for pack opening.
Old Border Cultivator Colossus.
Let's
Ooh.
I will
go.
be honest. I think I got every big mana, big power toughness card in my pack. Like I seriously have like the Brambleworm,
That's great for me.
of Perfection. You know,
Lucky.
I've got Gitrog. Like I've got a lot of power toughness over here.
I got a good mix. I got like Lightning Mauler, Ecstatic Awakener, Gather the Townsfolk. So those are a bunch of 1s and 2s. Infernal Grasp, another one, Duel for Dominance. So Festival
Mhm.
Craft. I got a lot of 1s and 2s.
All right, so hold on to those big boys. You might need them later.
Yeah, yeah.
I would happily donate my Chalice of Life to help boost yours by 3.
Sweet.
So what does that bring you to?
That would be a total of 5 plus my everything's just 1 for me, so that's 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're able to pretty slyly while you're walking just kind of like adjust one of the cages on your belt and just
Mhm.
release the bug in a way that is not doesn't catch anyone's eye really.
Sure,
And
sure.
You send them on their way down into this strange building in the ground.
Yeah, just kind of slithers through a crack in the door or something like that. What does my little buggy friend see?
He'll come back to you and tell you that
Mhm.
there are dead bodies in there. There's 3 of them. There's 3 dead bodies in there. I think they're not
Freshly
moving.
deceased or
They're
rotting?
kind of weird. They're not like bodies I've seen. They're not like tasty, you know?
Something you would partake in. Interesting.
Not yet. You gotta wait some time.
Interesting and good to know. Thank you, my little friend.
We'll go back into
tuck
his
him
little
back into
cage.
my as I'm whispering this with my hands. I just kind of like slowly shove him back into my robes.
I like to imagine Vanessa sees him like muttering to himself, like, well, that's odd. Definitely leaning toward that being one of the criminals that's escaped.
Another tack on the board for
Yeah,
probably
she
the
like
escaped
mental
one.
note of like asylum patient, normal guy.
What was our guy's name again?
Anselm.
You'll see Kataro does like a really deep, like fancy bow, and it's like,
Pleasure to meet you, Andasum, the keeper, retired keeper of the Pale. I'm excited to hear more news about what is happening in this area.
I'm afraid it is. It's very boring and in comparison to what I'm sure you deal with on a daily basis, and certainly my adventures back in the day. But I am grateful that you are all here, and that I still have a little pull back up at the church that I could get some help down here. I wasn't sure who would answer my call, so I just kind of sent it to anyone I thought could help me in the matter. And he'll like remove his cloak and kind of pour himself a cup of tea and offer the kettle to everyone else. He sees Vanessa already has it, but has a drink. But he's like, do you drink? Forgive me if that's insensitive. I have not met someone of your kind before. And then,
I'm okay, thank you.
very well. It is here if you need it. And it's like I understand my letter was quite vague. I had to, in case it fell into the wrong hands, and I wasn't, in this matter, I'm not really sure what the wrong hands would be, but I live a rather quiet life. I tend to a graph in between here and the nearby town, and I tend to the dead and take care of them and help let people in to visit their loved ones. And about a month ago, when I went to do the usual maintenance, I found a body inside the graveyard, inside the gates. it was very strange. No one gets in or out without me. I'm the only one with the key. So I brought it back, and he gestures towards the building outside to prepare it properly for a burial. And I noticed a few strange things about it that kind of worried me, but I paid it no mind. There's a lot of strange here in Innistrad. And less than a week later, a second body, not in any grave, none of the graves were disturbed, just in the graph, just laying there, with even more worrying marks to its body. And it's very strange. So that was when I sent the letters. So there were these two strange bodies. And actually, since I have sent them, I have discovered a third that is perhaps the strangest of all. And I was hoping I could get your opinions on the matter, on what you think might be happening here, and any steps you might suggest to. I would like for people to stop becoming dead if possible, but and also ending up in my graveyard, which I work very hard to keep
Well,
nice.
they're doing the work for you. I don't understand why you'd be so mad.
They're not putting them in graves. They're just leaving these bodies. And I mean, it is quite
yes,
shocking if you
yes.
go to visit a loved one and you find just a dead naked person just in the grass. That's quite alarming, I think. And
It is very rude to leave bodies unattended.
yes, so this has only been happening for about a month, and nothing like this has ever happened before. But strange things have happened in this valley before, and I worry that we might be seeing some return to old habits and rituals that we do not need in Innistrad right now. But
Any indication this might be a result of the maniacs getting loose from the sanitarium nearby? I saw the little letter on your table.
oh, you read that? Oh, I suppose I should be more careful about my things. I do not know. They would have to be quite smart and quite clever to find a way into my graveyard and leave bodies. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something a normal folk can do. But I will not rule out anything. I have seen my fair share of strange over my years with the church, and I know better than to cross out possibilities too soon.
Indeed, indeed. You said something made these bodies strange. Was there something with them that
I can
you
show
saw?
them to you if you would like.
I
I pull out my notebook excitedly and got like a little pen and quill, and I put on a little monocle. Yes, yes, I'd love to examine them.
All right.
Vanessa
I'm good at making the
recoils
bodies dead.
What was that?
I'm good at making the bodies dead, so at least I'll be able to figure that out from the bodies, but I can't help you otherwise.
Well,
Vanessa recoils a tiny bit and is just like, ugh, if I must. I'm not a fan, though.
Well, I will be happy for any help that I can receive from any of you. The townspeople are quite alarmed and do not want anything to do with it. So I thought outside help would be needed. And he'll lead you back outside if you wish to follow him.
Oh,
Yes.
He'll lead you back to the stone structure with it has a very low roof and then steps leading down into an underground space that is significantly cooler than the already chilly air outside. Inside, there are 3 long tables in the center of the room, each supporting a humanesque shape covered in a faded white blanket. He goes around and lights the candles and gently removes the covers from each of the corpses before leaning against the back wall beside a pair of wooden coffins. And he gestures for inviting you to examine them.
First, I'd like to know the order. Which came first, second, and third?
He points to the one closest to the far wall, and he said, this one first, then the middle, and then the one with the wings.
Excellent.
the wings.
Wings.
You go over to the third body, and you notice that it is laying on crumpled wings. They're like angel wings, but they're too small. Like there's no way that they'd be able to lift this person off the ground. And there are also these fleshy pink tendrils, like veins going through the wings, like sticking out between the feathers. If I could get a brain check from you, please.
I would love to give that brain check, actually. Blue cards can be used, right? That's the
Blue, white, or
brain.
black?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw down a rooftop storm. So 6 plus 1, so 7.
Dang, okay. So
It's a very pretty rooftop storm
it is
too.
very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at this body, you would recognize this kind of these weird growths as like Eldrazi corruption. But another thing you notice is that this body appears to be completely drained of all blood through what looks like an incision in the neck, and that must be the cause of death because you're not seeing any other wounds except for along the upper arms and the torso. It looks like drag marks, like dragging through the dirt. There's also blood and
probably
dirt
happened post-death, yeah.
Yeah, blood and dirt under the fingernails as well of this body.
Interesting. And does the incision on the neck look surgical in nature, or does it look like a stab, like a
It does look more
ripping?
surgical. It's not like just like a straight puncture. It was like somebody knew what they were doing and they aimed for certain veins to drain this body.
Is there any sign of restraint on the wrists or the ankles or anything like that? Like it was tied up or anything like that?
While Dr. Brumble's looking, she's gonna peek over and see the thing on the neck and be like, examining your own work, I see, doctor. Highly suspicious.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to do any, I was going to say observing, examining?
I'll look at the second one.
Sure. Can I get a brain check from you, please?
I also have a rooftop storm, but
Yo.
it's not the pretty one that Evan has. So for me, that's +6, and mine is a 2, so that gives me an 8 total.
Dang, okay. And then the cards that you use we're setting aside, those will go in your combat deck later. I don't know if you mentioned
Got those up there.
All right. So you take a chance to look over the second body, and you notice that this one, would she touch it?
No, she would not.
All right. That might make it more difficult. This one does not have any scrapes or any kind of like outward damage to the arms or the torso. Same incision in the neck. And as you like lean and kind of look, you don't want to pick it up, but you want to look at its back. You do notice that there is something back there.
When she notices, she would probably be like, Corlo, you, move it. Turn it over.
I do not like to be bossed around. However, I do want to see what's going on here. So Carlo's gonna walk over, like literally like hop up on the table and like get really close, like start sniffing the body, like give it a little lick, like, and then like flip the body over.
You see Anselm kind of
Dad.
stiffen where he's standing against the wall, kind of like, okay. But you will see that there are these 2 wounds on the back, vertical going down from the shoulder blades. Like something is trying to come out through the skin and has kind of started coming out through the skin, but hasn't completely made its way out yet. 2 of them going down the back.
I immediately stop messing with the third body and go fascinating, and I pull out like a pair of like forceps and I try to like pry out whatever's in the wound coming out.
I'll take a step back because I don't want to be in the splash zone of whatever may be dug out just now. But I think I would notice and be like, this seems slightly reminiscent of the wings on victim number 3. Would you agree, Dr. Brumble?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think we're seeing multiple stages of change here, a metamorphosis of sorts. Oh, this is very fascinating. A change in evolutionary biology on the plane. Not documented in a very long time. Interesting. And I start like slowly like grunting as I'm like trying to pull out whatever is like trying to protrude out of these gashes in the back.
It does appear to be like it's more like kind of like tendrils and also kind of like feathers, like a strange mass of both things, like both kind of angel and Eldrazi.
Ugh. When she sees you pull that out, she's gonna be, how vile! That's just an abomination. And I've seen my fair share of abominations.
Emma, for reference, I assume the events of Eldritch Moons and Shadows over Innistrad have happened, so we
Yes,
might be aware of them.
Yes, this is
Okay.
post Crimson Vow, so everything
Gotcha,
leading up to that
gotcha.
has happened.
Gotcha. Interesting. Since the Outer Invader was defeated so many years ago, we've not seen aberrations like this on the plane for some time. Interesting that they've begun to pop up again. Perhaps our visitor is beginning to influence things once again.
Well, we've looked at 2 of the bodies. I don't particularly want to touch or be near the 3rd one, so if one of you other creatures wants to investigate that one, be my guest.
Corlo is
Vanessa,
gonna.
as you like, go ahead.
Colorado is smiling and is like, before Vanessa even finishes talking, is already like at the next body, like sniffing it and just like touching it,
And I'm
poking and
just
prodding.
eagerly over Corlo's shoulder, just like rubbing my hands.
You're just looking at the 2 of you, like, what have I gotten myself into? I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this.
Anselm is also sitting back a little, watching kind of like in this. You recognize the same vibe, like he's like, "What have I invited into my home? I hope this works out for me." This one is actually the least like I don't know. I don't want to say the least grotesque of them all. You do notice there aren't any signs of like the wings or anything. There is some like kind of you notice kind of like along the fingertips there are kind of like these kind of like tentacle suckers like there is Eldrazi corruption here, but not very much. This body is
Not as
also
advanced.
completely drained of blood. And something you, Doctor, would notice is that he told you he found this body about a month ago, but it looks like it couldn't be a couple of days old. It's not decomposing the way a human should, or even like an elf should. Or...
Yeah, even in a colder environment.
Yeah, it's cool down here, but still. And if it was laying out in the graph for a little while, this is not correct.
Awesome. You said you found these bodies over a month ago, correct?
In just about a month, yes.
Tell me, in all your time as being a graveyard keeper, have you ever seen a body preserved so well within your cellars?
No, and that was why that was part of what alarmed me, and what made me summon you.
In the same, is there the same incision on the neck as well too on this one with the drained out blood?
Yes, this one is a little like rougher, but it's still there.
Gotcha. So different stages of metamorphosis with a shared wound with no other signs of outward trauma caused by other tools other than the aberrations. Quite interesting.
This one does have
And
marks
some-
on the wrist, like it has been bound.
Ah, okay. Like bruises from like being restrained or
Yes.
something?
Mhm.
Ah, okay.
And some this seems very calculated. All of these bodies are very protected and intentionally dealt with. Is there anybody in the local area that you know practices ritualistic exercises or different religions?
They don't do so publicly. These people are very, very open about their being against any of like the occult. No offense, the vampiristic. They They may not worship the Church of Avacyn the way I do, but I have not heard of any prophets of other beings or any strange rituals.
And one more question. Have you performed Avacyn's blessing on any of these bodies to prevent any further changes that we know this land has done to bodies after death?
I have not. I did not want to ruin any evidence.
A month seems pretty long.
Well, I'll get to it. It's on my to-do list.
And
You are more than welcome to if you wish it to be done now. But since I do not know what these creatures are, I wasn't sure.
Did any of the bodies have any clues to their origin other than you said they were found naked?
Yes, no clothes, no belongings. I can show you where I found them if that would be helpful.
I think that is the smartest idea.
Is there any trending factors? Like, are they younger people or like possibly like weakened people, like people who would not be able to self-defend, or do they look healthy and like would have possibly been willing?
No, they don't. They seem very plain. Like they don't show any like features characteristic of a certain like region of Innistrad or anything like you'd get your father's nose or anything, or you like your mother's jawline. Like they seem very plain, almost to a point where it's almost unnerving to look at them. They're perfect, but something's
Like generic
off.
person TM sort of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, but they all are young, like you'd say, early 20s maybe. But even that's hard to tell. They're just they're very strange.
Are they all human?
They appear to be. But what are you looking at to determine that? They do not have fangs. They're not vampires. The ears are not pointed.
That would probably be it. Be like,
Emma, I'm going to go to the second one that has like the newer protrusions coming out of the back that I like kind of pulled out. Can I attempt to take like a scalpel and try to like surgically remove one of the like tentacle appendages, feathered appendages?
Yeah, and Anselm does have some tools for like embalming and such about that he could let you use if you do not come with your own. But if you come with your own, that's also great.
Oh, I brought my Stitcher's kit. Don't worry. I open up a little like a basic like embalming kit and pull out a scalpel, and I like grab with the forceps with one hand and scalpel in the other, and I just attempt to go at the base of this like tentacled aberration thing and try to cut at it and see what happens.
You are able to get a piece off. It doesn't bleed because there's very little blood in this body at all.
Okay. Interesting. Kind of look it up and down real quick, see that it's not like moving or anything, and then I pull out like a specimen tube and put it in there and quickly cork it up.
It
And
does
then
not move.
put it onto my belt.
All right.
Yes, I think the next step would to be seeing the scene of the crime, unless any of you all want to see anything else on these bodies.
I'm ready to go to the graveyard.
All right. Anselm will lead you out to the wagon that you actually saw him arrive in.
Sure.
There are two wooden coffins in the back, and he says they're empty, so you can go ahead and sit on those. There's also a spot next to him on the bench if someone were want to sit up there.
I feel more at home in the coffin.
You get into the
Just
coffin?
go into the coffin.
Okay.
I watched that and I was like kind of sad because I was gonna like offer to take the bodies. Like, okay, we saw the bodies, so let's take them back to the graveyard. But then I watched them get in the coffin, and I'm like, Never mind. That's for him, I guess. I'll sit up front.
All right.
It's a very sentinel thing to do.
The Ansel makes
I'll
room
pop
for
a
you.
squat on top of the non-occupied coffin.
I'm just gonna watch from above because I'm like, what are they doing? I'm not getting in any of these coffins.
So are you sitting on the cup? Are you flying? Misha?
Oh no, I'm keeping my distance. I'm just like watching them. I'm just gonna like I'm not touching those.
All right, so you're just like standing in the back of the wagon.
Yeah, I'm just watching them do whatever they're about to do.
All right. Ansel kind of waits for you to sit down and realizes you're not going to, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to go now."
Bye-bye.
Then he cracks the reins, and the horse starts moving forward. And a short ride takes you back into the dense darkness of the forest, through which a dirt trail has been worn over time. The horses need very little direction from their driver, and the reins sit loose in Anselm's lap throughout the journey. Just when a faint flicker of light suggests civilization may be ahead, the horses turn off the road, and you are plunged back into darkness once more. The small burial ground is protected from the wilds by a thick iron gate made of pointed vertical poles and crisscrossed at the very top by horizontal bars. It backs up against a sheer cliff that casts an ominous shadow over the entire clearing. Ansel pulls up to the front and hops down, taking the heavy padlock. The gates are bolted shut. Taking the heavy padlock in one hand and digging it for a key in the other to unlock it. He says, "No one gets in or out without my say so." And he will unlock it, and with a creak, he will push the heavy doors open. He does not bring the horse in, but he will walk in.
Is this just a gate, or is this actually like to a building?
It's just a gate either keeping something in or something out. It's an black iron gate.
I will fly over and be like, there's many ways to get in. You're not keeping much out.
He watches you and kind of nods, like, "I didn't think of that. Okay."
Colro is gonna emerge from the coffin dramatically, like, and then follow.
Vanessa's gonna shake her head and be like, coffins are so many seasons ago.
Any sigils here of protection, possibly?
You do
around
see on, like, there are two large, like, kind of a stone columns on either side of the gate, and you do see some familiar, like, runes and like inscribings on those. But most of the memorials within are modest stone, with a few hewn into elegant shapes and figures. The grass reaches past your ankles, but none of the graves seem overgrown. There's a small shed in the back, which Anselm starts to walk towards. Take a look around. I will be over here.
Where exactly did you find the bodies?
Over there. He points towards it's kind of closer to the cliff. There are a few like smaller graves, just like a simple stone with like a square stone with a curved top, and then a couple, like, there's one that's a little more shaped, and then one where it's an angel with folded hands.
I see.
Kathoro's gonna like start walking the perimeter a little bit, like kind of like see if there was any points of entry near that area.
The gate, or the fence, all appears to be solid, and you have to be very, very skinny to slip through the bars. So it does not appear that one could get in this way. And there's no back wall. It goes. There are three sides that back up against the cliff that goes like straight up.
I'm gonna head
Possibly thrown down from the cliff.
Ansem, what is at the top of the cliff?
I'm not sure. I don't go up there. There might be some ruin of some old manor up there. I'm not sure.
How high is the cliff?
It's like at least 100 feet up. It's very high.
Oh. Do I
Was
see
there,
any
like-
evidence of like heavy impacts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, was
Sure.
did we remember bludgeoning damage, like heavy bludgeoning to these bodies?
I think the
Uh,
only outward damage we saw was the incision
Yeah.
and then like a little bit of binding around the wrist. No like fall damage or anything
Yeah,
that was
and-
apparent on the bodies.
In your experience, you would be able to tell if damage was done after death. So nothing.
Mhm.
It doesn't seem like this was it.
Okay.
The drive-by drop-off, I guess.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you are gonna rule flying, but would it be possible for me to kind of fly up there and see if there was anything notable at the top of the cliff?
Sure. You're able to fly up there, and it's quite a ways away, but you do see like what looks like the ruins of a building, of an old building.
Can I like look around and see if like there's any defining features of the building?
It looks like it's been destroyed for quite a long time. Without going in it, there isn't a ton. That's very, it's built in a very gothic style, but it seems like the roof is mostly caved in. There's not like anything of value likely has been stolen by now. It seems it's been like this for a long time.
I'll kind of float back down to where they're kind of all gathered, and I'll just let them know that there is a building at the top of that cliff, but it's old and decrepit, and it doesn't look like there's anything of substance in there. Everything looked to be rummaged through and just garbage, so I don't think that's where they came from.
Perfect place to be overlooked if you're, say, I don't know, doing surgical incisions on necks.
I mean, it looked like the roof had fallen in, and it didn't look like there were any space to be doing surgical precision, you know, activities on necks there.
It certainly sounds like my kind of place, though.
I could see you living there, yes. If you want to go there after we're finished, be my guest.
If I had a cold, I would bring it underground.
I'm gonna look around the area that the bodies were discovered. I guess the first thing I want to look at is like the headstones nearby, and do I notice anything special about the headstones? Are they worn out, or can I read them?
Can I get a brain check or a perception
Yes, you may.
sort of check?
What am I gonna throw down here? I think
If
we'll
you
do
want to shoot
this.
low, I can help.
Yeah, I can also help.
I will throw down a mystic retrieval. So that's 4.
I will use
one.
a metallic mimic to add an extra 2 there for you.
Sweet. So then that'd be math 7
7?
total. Yeah.
All right. As you're walking through the grass going closer to these graves, you notice that it's like the grass is tended to, but it's still quite long. But around one of the graves, you notice that the grass has been pressed down, as if like something was pressed down onto it while the ground was wet, and then it stuck into the mud. And following, you see these kind of drag marks leading towards one of the graves.
And is the impression vaguely body shaped?
Perhaps.
Can I start to follow these drag marks?
Sure. You follow them past a bunch of.
Oh, before I do, I'm gonna motion to my friends as well too to have them follow me, so I'm not just going by myself. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. The group follows these drag marks, and you're kind of bent over, looking closely, and you find that it comes to this base of one of the grander memorials that has an angel with folded hands. And you see that the square base of this memorial has kind of like scratch marks along the bottom, like flecks of blood and mud, like fingernails.
I think we found at least the origin of our corporate. Do I recognize the scratch marks at all? I can do another like brain check if you want me to check it.
Sure. I'll get a brain check.
Okay.
Make you guys use up your cards.
This will be a smaller one, I guess. So 3 plus a 1, so 4.
I mean,
I would be curious about this stuff, so I would probably help with a 3.
Sure.
okay.
Sure. So 7 total.
You connect this with the blood and the mud under the fingernails of the third body.
Okay. So one of our victims like scratched the monument, I would kind of surmise.
Yeah, it looks like they crawled towards this monument and then clawed at it.
Oh. Is there anything etched on the monument, like any words or memorial etched onto it?
It has the kind of the usual things of like it's not a name that you remember. It's a very kind of plain, typical name for the region with like a loving wife and mother will be missed. It seems to be there's no date on it, but it seems to be very very old, despite it's been well taken care of. But there's some
Is the
pieces...
lack of a date something that sticks out to me? Is that strange for like Innistrad custom potentially?
The date is kind of you'd expect no date kind of on a poorer memorial where maybe they but you'd
So
think
this is like
that
a
maybe
common folk memorial.
the angel statue suggests that it's actually like if you were to judge that if the houses were similar to the one of your host, this would be too rich for their blood.
Interesting. Okay. A commoner's grave with an expensive headstone. Interesting.
It's curious that the victim had blood and dirt on the nails, similar to the markings on this grave, but all the other victims seem to have not really had a whole lot of struggle. So my conclusion is either they witnessed something they shouldn't, or they tried to escape somewhere they shouldn't.
Well, it definitely confirms that they were alive in the yard.
But what brought them here?
Is Ansem near us still?
He's gone over to the shed and kind of like grabbed a different lantern and a scythe. He's kind of just fixing the grass while he's here, but he's wandering back over towards you.
Ansem, did the first victim have those wings that were on the back of them when you first found them, or did they develop those over time, over that 1 month span that you held them in your area?
The first one had nothing on the back. The second one, that is how I found them, and that is how they stayed. I did nothing except clean up the bodies a little bit. I did not want to disturb any evidence.
So you suppose that these have been developing before the death?
I am no biologist, but perhaps.
I do like that
Interesting that
through. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's interesting that the one that was like with the dirt and the blood and the nails and stuff like that was the one with the more developed wings. So they were more corrupt. I find that interesting. Was that the longest one too? Was that the one that was the longest time ago or the earliest?
That was the earliest. That was the one that was found after the letters were sent to you guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
Interesting.
Even more interesting, you know, because so it's like the corruption is just getting to the newer ones, but it has been around for the first one that was found.
Yeah, but just barely for that first one.
I might be getting that backwards. DM, am I getting that backwards? The most recent body
had the most corruption.
Most wings.
Most wings, most corruption. Yeah. All of them showed signs of Eldraziness. But
one can almost surmise that they all were afflicted at the same time, and they were found at different times in their development, almost. One was allowed more time to get further along without the incision happening. The other one was right at the start of its inception of its metamorphosis.
I have a hypothesis. How about
Yes.
we go on your theory of your damages as like possible restraints? What if they were all found at the same time? And the first one that died, that was not very developed, was disposed of first because they weren't done. Incision, whatever, harvesting, maybe involved. And the other ones still stayed in the area and they developed something from whoever made this incision and then were disposed of afterwards. I suspect if we find a fourth body here soon, it will have even more wings.
Carlo, what are
You
you
could
up
be
to?
correct, my metal friend.
Dr. Brumble, you seem to be a connoisseur of the creepy crawly variety. When you do tests with your bugs, I assume at different points in their developmental stages, you sometimes will inspect them by like killing them and looking at what's inside?
When the unfortunate time of a specimen comes too early, I do tend to do a autopsy of sorts to learn about the certain stage that they're in. Yes, I do.
Could this be just another example of that same type of investigation?
I highly suspect it. Emma, would I know about like the at least have a outer knowledge of like Eldrazi corruption like stages
You,
from potentially studying it, or is that would be like a brain check on that or something like that?
we can go brain check.
Or running out of brain cards. Oh yeah.
Doctor doing doctoring.
Someone else is
Doctor's
gonna have to start
doctrine.
making checks
So
soon.
much doctrine here
Do you have
right
any black
now.
cards though?
I
Because
have
black cards can be used.
I got white, and I guess I had like a lot of them are low mana. Unfortunately, like I
Do you have
a
any multicolored black?
I
Multicolored
have
black
that.
counts
Yeah, I
as
do have a
black.
black blue, but it's 2 as well. So
Oh,
I
okay.
think 2 plus the 1 that I have, unless anybody's willing to contribute again.
Is it only colorless cards we can contribute, or?
Yes.
I think
I
that's
believe
what we
so.
said, yeah.
Your land can give yourself a +1.
Oh yes, I forgot.
And if it's
about
a
that.
rare land, it gives a +2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a land you want to use, Evan? Yourself? Otherwise, I have a huge buff.
It
If
has
you
to
want
be
me
in the
use a
correct
huge buff on
colors.
you.
It
That's
has to be
right.
the correct
That's right.
colors. Yeah, then I would not have the correct colors on the land. Then yeah.
I can give you a huge buff if you want, just to make sure we get this.
Maybe don't.
Maybe hold it.
Maybe we hang on to it and see what I get here with the 3.
Yeah, you've seen your fair share of like corruption manifesting and changing. It seems like a lot of people in the area you live in kind of embrace it, and you're what throws you for a loop kind of is that you've seen this on like human subjects, and this person just seems different. Like their biology might be different in how it handles this corruption, but which makes you a little wary.
Like the metamorphosis is almost taking a different form than what I'm used to seeing in human subjects of the same nature.
Yes, correct.
Gotcha.
I have 2 potential theories that we can investigate further. First, we have the building at the top of the cliff. Second was the letter about the missing patient from the sanatorium. I can think of no better excuse than a missing patient to commit some sort of experiments on them. If we go to the local sanatorium, or we can check out the building at the top of the cliff.
Before we do go, I want a little bit more time with this tombstone. I'm gonna do like a 360 of it.
and just
I'll-
kind of like look around it to see if there's any more signs of like scratches or damage, or if I see any more like drag marks
How
around
close are
it
you
as
getting to
well.
it?
What was that?
How close are you getting to it?
Um, let's say I'm like a solid like 2-3 feet away from it, and I'm just doing a simple circle around it.
Okay. So for most of it, you don't really notice much, and then your eyes kind of what catches your eye is like a bright spot of the marble. While most of it is weathered, there's one patch that is brighter, and you notice that the hands that are folded, one of them is
Mhm.
kind of cocked forward, and the palm is exposed, and that is a bright white.
Interesting. Um,
Can I see can I see Dr. Brundle doing this and kind of like shift a little bit to look like a little bit more muscular up at the top? And I'm gonna put my hands
Now
out
and go. Would you like me to push the headstone to see if it moves?
I actually look up at the hand, and I'm like, "Hmm, any chance you could get up to those hands and see if you can move them in any way, shape, or form? That might be more helpful. Looks like one of them's been moved out of place."
You see all the muscles that I shifted to the top of my body go down to my legs, and my legs become huge and muscular, and I like prepare myself to jump.
Give me a brawn check.
I just kind of like I back up a little bit, and I just kind of hold up my hands. Have at it.
Here we go.
All right, you want me to
So,
do a brawn check?
Yeah,
Okay.
green or red cards, or the black, which is a wild card.
Okay. You said if it's a creature, it's the power plus the mana.
It's always the mana cost plus your toughness.
Oh, plus my toughness. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus my toughness, not my. Oh.
Yep, this is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
brawn as opposed to a brain check.
Strong.
Okay, well, we're gonna play the multi. We're gonna play the storm count. So I'm gonna do a couple different ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and use. I'm gonna use an abrade plus a sorin for 5.
You can use one
Mhm.
card, and then other people
Oh,
other
well,
people can add
yeah.
a
I thought
card.
the whole purpose of the black was to add it.
Nope,
Oh,
it's
no,
just
not.
instead.
Oh,
Other
it's just
people can
Yeah.
add,
Oh, okay.
unless they
Shoot.
want to see
I
full
can add-
funny.
I will add a wild field scarecrow to give you an extra 3, and so Coloro will give you a little boost.
Okay. Okay. So then I'll use a 3 then. I totally did my first check wrong then, because for some reason I thought you meant the creature card. You add their power or their to the brain
yeah.
check their power to their mana costs. So that's where I messed it up. Okay, so this is just a 3 then. So it's 3 plus my toughness, which is 1, and then you added
Sure.
what, Nick?
3.
3. Okay, so
Mhm.
7.
All right, so you
Yeah.
just hop right up there, kind of land right on the edge where the angel's feet are. It kind of sticks out a little bit, and just kind of wrap one arm around her back, leaving one hand free to do whatever you want.
I'm gonna look down at Dr. Brundle and be like,
I motion the hands, my friend. Look at the hands. See if you can move them in any fashion.
And so you
yeah, my hands kind of expand like a bunch of small little like needles, and they're kind of like grasping around the hand, and I'm kind of like trying to shift it and move it.
So you push it back into place, and you, Dr. Brundle, you'd feel this. You're closest to the grave. There's kind of like a slight rumble around the grave.
Fascinating. Does it stop immediately after that?
Are you continuing to manipulate the hand? All right, you push it
Yes.
forward, like even further, so it's out of place, pointing the other way. And the ground under your feet starts to shudder, and with this horrid grinding sound, the entire statue begins to move backwards, slowly revealing a dark pit underneath. You kind of wrap both arms around the angel as you're like, yeah, exactly.
I kind of shift over.
I'm gonna watch him just hold as this angel's moving and be like, he sure is devoted, huh?
When the cacophony stops, your ears only have a moment of respite before they catch the quick pitter-patter of bare feet on stone racing towards you, far faster than any human can run. you manage a wary step back, well, those of you on the ground, before something launches itself out of this newly exposed pit. A whirlwind of arms, limbs, and legs sticking out in unnatural directions, all fighting desperately to get to you. 3 faces snarl at you with dark, sunken eyes and jagged teeth.
Ooh.
The arms this monstrosity brandishes at you aren't topped by hands, but by barbed, bloody harpoons, and in one case, to your horror, a rusty bear trap. And we are going to go into combat.
Oh,
All right.
yay.
Oh, man.
We take the rest of our pack and then we shuffle it with the 2 cards. Is that how this works?
Nope, you open a new pack, and that is your combat deck.
Our combat
Gotcha.
We don't look at the combat deck.
Do not look at the combat
Oh,
deck,
shoot.
but shuffle the
Should we
used
shuffle it up?
cards. Yeah, you can shuffle it if you want, and then shuffle in any cards you
Okay.
used in previous checks.
Gotcha.
All right.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna quick look at how initiative works. Okay.
Alright,
And I'll
so
grab a
token
pen.
Oh.
here.
Don't look at him, Misha. Don't look at
I
him.
didn't mean to. I
you
was.
can- you can
I
flip-
moved the token, not knowing which side that was going to be on.
You can flip the top card, and then that'll be your initiative, the mana cost of
Okay.
that card.
I'm shuffling the best I can a naked pack of cards.
And then I need a
I
pack
know.
as
I was
well.
like, should I sleeve this if they're serialized?
Shit,
Oh,
did you get a
Lord.
serial guys card?
No, I just if I haven't, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's gonna be really
Yeah.
funny if we flip some of these and it's like a serialized Edgar.
And we all go, ah! It's a big.
Well,
All right, I'm
guess
gonna
it's gonna
flip
be an
mine.
8 now instead of a 10.
But was it worth?
Or
if you-
it'll be the number on your serialized. That's the
Mm.
number.
I
Yeah.
got an 87 on that check.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I flipped a think twice. So that's 2 mana.
Okay,
3.
so 2. Who said 3?
I
I
flipped
got
a Thalia,
a 2.
so
Nick
it's
said
it's
3.
just the mana cost, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 3.
And Evan, what'd you have 2?
2, yeah, hungry Ridge Wolf.
All right.
And that goes on the bottom. Of the
So
combat deck,
you and Evan, you and Misha can rock paper scissors or something, or to figure out who wants to go first.
Ladies
Honestly,
first.
I think Vanessa seeing that would be like, go, you. I don't want to go
Oh.
first.
All right.
Ew.
All right. So what happens next is we're both gonna flip the. I also have a combat deck here, and we're both gonna flip the top card, and then whoever has the higher mana cost wins, and then whatever the difference is between the two, that's how much damage is dealt to the loser. So go ahead and
Gotcha.
flip that card.
And we start at 20 life. Is that correct?
Yes, you all have 20 life.
Sure.
Like playing Magic. Weird.
Yeah. All right. Am I going first? Is that right?
Yes, I think Vanessa let you have this one.
Yeah, yeah. Rooftop Storm, so 6.
Dang. Okay, I had an asylum visitor, which is only 2. So you do 4
Oh.
damage to this guy.
Yeah, I'd like to imagine I kind of like open up my cloak and just a swarm of bugs comes out and just starts nibbing at this thing.
At this point, Vanessa doesn't know whether to be more disgusted with the abomination or you. You're like, ah, everything is disgusting.
All right, Misha, you're next.
All right, I will flip. I also got a rooftop storm.
Jesus
Another
Christ.
one.
All
Why
right.
is
When you
this like
shuffle back in,
every
maybe.
card?
You guys are playing
Yeah,
with
this is-
collector's
card.
packs. I shouldn't have allowed that. All right,
Yeah.
so that's an 8, you said? Was that an 8?
6.
Or a 6?
Oh,
And
do I
then-
add it to my?
Nope,
It's just a 6
it's just the
mana.
mana cost. And I flipped a
Mana
Delver
cost,
of
yeah.
Secrets, which is a 1. So you do
Ooh.
5 damage.
That was not a
Alright.
good one for you to flip.
All right, in the you how do you attack this creature?
I would say that upon seeing all the bugs and seeing this nasty abomination, that I would kind of fly up into the air so I can get away. And with like a really cool twirl, you'll see me kind of like change attitude and I'll look a little bit stronger. And I'm going to send a bat at you. I'm going to
Okay.
send one of my little guys and just have them just take a chunk out.
Are you perhaps flipping your card and transforming?
I was like, just for combat, you know. This is my
Yeah.
combat form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see. All right.
It's just a little guy fight.
It's just
Yeah,
I
I have to change in order to like bring out my little baby bats.
All right.
Mhm.
So your bats fly down and just kind of sink in wherever they can find actual flesh. And as that happens, a slower shuffling joins the din, a low background drawl to combat. One by one, two upright figures drag themselves from the pit, straightening up to tower over you. Like the first beasts, these creatures are a mix of flesh and weapon, with exposed metal of pitchforks and scythes catching the light of your lanterns. And two blade-stitched scabs will join the combat. So now you guys will have to tell me which one you would like to attack. And
Gotcha.
Abomination is scab 1, scab 2.
Yep, scab.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna number them here on my thing. 2 blade
One,
scab.
2. And we've
All
gotten
right.
2 pretty good chunks out on the abomination here.
Nick and Brendan, you both also tied for initiative, so you can rock, paper, scissors, or decide who wants to go first.
Here you go, Nick.
You're up close, metal man.
Can we see? Can I already see the scabs, or
Yes, they
are
have
we in
crawled.
within range?
They have crawled out of the pit that you're standing above. All right, you ready to flip your card?
It's my time to shine. Let's go.
I'm gonna jump from the statue and come down on it.
All right.
Yeah.
You have to-
Oh no!
you have to
it's
beat
a
a-
1.
All right, so I flipped a 3, a Drogskull shield mate. So your battle cry, which you think is quite heroic, actually alerts your opponents to you, and they kind of turn around and are able to move one of their weapons up to intercept and do 2 damage to you.
Vanessa's gonna be up in the
18.
air judging. It's like, you never yell your attack before you hit them. Wow, amateur hour.
All right,
You
Nick.
have to love his enthusiasm, though.
I'll give him that. He is very excitable.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Flip. That is a bound by Moonsilver, which is a 3.
All right, I flipped a 2, so you will do 1. Which one were you attacking? You've got
The main abomination.
the Stitched Mangler. And how would you like to kill this creature?
Oh, I'm going to rip. My hands will come out. They'll grow these long claws, and I'll just shove my hand through its chest and pull something out.
Something out. It's a mass
I
of flesh.
don't know if it has a
chunk.
heart, but
Yeah, you get a pulsating mass of flesh with these veins that you think are veins, but they kind of writhe in their own way for a minute in your hand before falling still. And the Stitched Mangler is no more. So,
I shout over at at Corlo and I think, save that for later. I can study it.
all right, we're back at the top of the order. Was that Evan was first?
Mhm.
I believe so. Yeah. Did the 2 new scabs? Did they get a turn at all, or are they just like
No, because they
entering
kind of
combat,
fight
essentially?
every single turn.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. So I will look at scab 1, I guess, that just kind of emerged out of there. And I'll kind of like redirect my bugs in a storm around me and then just swish it at its face. I got a 2 with a collective brutality.
I got a 1, so you do 1 damage to this thing. As the first of your cloud of bugs hit.
Yes.
All right,
Sweet.
Misha.
I flipped in a braid, so that's also 2.
I did Festerhide Boar, which is 4. So you are going to take 2 damage as one of its arms has a harpoon on it, and it kind of, most of it catches in your dress, but it does manage to kind of cut across your leg as it reaches up at you.
I'd like to, you said it caught in my dress, and I was like, the psychic damage of it getting my
Yeah.
dress.
It doesn't actually touch you, but it hurts because that dress took so long to get done.
I had to work so many odd jobs in order to afford this dress, and you just put a tear in it? You will pay.
All right, Brendan.
I'm gonna be like, push myself up off the ground angrily and stare up at the next one. I'm gonna look at Scab 2.
All right.
An Angel's Tomb of 3.
All right, that beats a 2. So you hit it this time for 1 damage.
I stab it and I'm like, I didn't announce it this time. I've learned.
Doing better. She'll give him a little clap.
All right, Nick.
Right, here we go. That is a 1. Oh no.
I also flipped a 1. We didn't decide what happens on a tie.
We
just
didn't-
both
I think they just
miss, or-
negate each other, right?
All right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
high
bounce
fived
off
on
each other.
accident.
All right. Evan.
Nick's making
Yes.
friends with the zombies.
We just did a little high
Alright.
five.
2.
That beats a 1.
Oh my gosh.
Emma, how many ones are in your combat deck?
I haven't looked at this. Well, I mean, I looked at it this morning when I was looking to see if your card was in there, but I didn't look at the mana cost, so it's rough.
Very
nice.
Which one were you going
Just
for?
like a lot of spells.
I'm gonna go for
cantrips?
Scab 1 again, and it's still kind of dealing with the bug, so I'm actually gonna pull out one of my extra scalpels and just like throw it right between its eyes.
Yeah, there are 3 faces on this thing. You get the middle one, and it
Yeah.
lets out this kind of screeching howl. And one of the hand with the bear trap tries to get at it, but like it's a bear trap, so it's not really able to grab very well.
Not too dexterous, unfortunately.
All right, Misha.
Island?
What did we decide for that?
I think
0. CMC 0.
zero. Yeah, 0
Zero.
mana cost. Yeah.
All right, so you will take 3 damage
Oh
off
no.
of this Fiend Hunter.
But you're the fiend.
Who's the amateur now?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's like rolling a natural 1.
Natural 1, yeah.
Yeah, natural 1.
Yeah.
All right. So now there's more exposed skin with the first tear, so it has a place to aim. So
It
damage
hooked
you
onto
this
my
time.
dress again, and now it's just like a giant hole. I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to repair this.
no, this is a bit more than you think even your seamstress can handle. All right.
On guard.
All right. I hit my land,
Ooh.
An Audric of 4.
so that's 4 damage.
Yeah.
This thing's starting
You
to
going
look
for number
rough.
2 again, Brendan?
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sticking
Okay.
around number 2.
it still looks
Cool.
rough-ish, but
All right, we'll go for number 2 as well.
all right.
Yeah. That's a 5.
Ooh.
I got a 6
With Edgar's
with
like,
a,
oh,
a rooftop storm.
Oh, now the fire's coming out.
we're in the heat of combat here. All right, I take 1 damage.
So it's a blow that could have been a lot worse if you weren't
Mhm.
as quick as you were.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Evan. Right? We're back up the top.
Alrighty.
I've hit another land.
Ooh, I have an X spell, a Killing Wave. What did we decide for
I
X?
think
for
it was
combat?
you. I didn't think we decided for combat. Did we?
Yeah, I think we
Let
just
me-
did for.
Yeah, we just did for like ability checks.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess technically it would just be a 1 cost because it's X.
Seems
Yeah,
and
the
one-
mana value is 1. Yeah.
All right. I flipped a land, so you still win.
Hey.
Wow. This time I take one of the empty cages on the side of me and I just like toss it at the like second head on the thing. I'm doing Scab 1 again as well too.
All right.
Vanessa's just gonna yell, every little bit helps. You're doing it.
All right. I'm gonna get a different pack for this. Switching up my combat deck. And if when you run
Yeah,
out of
sure.
cards, you shuffle them all back in.
All
And
right.
try
Gotcha.
again. All right, Misha.
I will. Ooh, I got a young wolf with it, which is 1.
I got a It of the Horrid Swarm with an 8.
Oh,
Oh!
I'll take 7.
oh my
You're-
god. what a
These things are
hit.
quite tall, so your being up doesn't help you as much as you had hoped. And one of the
I feel like this point, like I got slammed down, and I'm probably just like,
Yeah,
the fall
the
damage
bear-
from coming down.
the bear trap catches around your ankle and rips you down to the ground.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oof.
All
Which
right,
scab did
robot
that?
man.
Yikes.
I may have
Right.
spoken too soon.
All right, robot man.
Was that like Scab 2 that pulled her down?
Sure.
Yeah.
No. Die, 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 die.
I got it too.
I also got a 2.
Okay.
Playing patty cake.
A clash.
It heard you again, and it turned around to block.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Yeah. Oh no.
2.
Oh no.
Oh,
All right, you're
I
gonna take
figure
2.
we used all of our fire.
I take 2.
Yep, a hungry
I
ridge wolf.
unexpectedly had a peek of something in this pack that is really
Yeah.
good, but because my next card is a double face card, I know it's not my next
Yeah.
one.
I know.
Okay.
I have the same thing.
All right, we'll sleeve
We
these
did-
cards next time. Now we know. All right, Evan.
Alrighty. I'll flip into
Oh
a
no! Oh no!
They're fucking us
I
up.
have a 1. You
Okay,
literally
okay.
anything. So you
Oh.
take 1 damage.
Yeah, I'm like looking down on my belt. I'm like, oh god, what else do I have? What else do I have? And then
I won't
These bugs
lie.
aren't combat
This is actually
bugs.
pretty fun because, like,
Mhm.
I was interested to see how combat was gonna work in this system, but like, it feels actually pretty close with cards.
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, my next one. I have an aberrant researcher, which is 4.
All right, this is a 2.
Yes.
Butcher ghoul. Which
One of
one
my
are you
friends.
hitting?
2
Two
I'll
is
do
the one
scab
that
number
got ya.
2.
All right. How would you
Scab
like?
number 2, me lord.
How would you like to kill this creature?
Oh.
I'm gonna stand up and like pat my dress and look at how like gross and ripped it is, and I'm gonna just get really angry, and I'm going to send a bat straight toward one of its faces and just say, tear it up.
The bat goes right into the face. The face kind of caves in. This thing's rotting, and you see like kind of movement moving down the body, and the bat bursts out of its chest, and it moves no more.
Pretty
A
badass bat.
xenomorph bat.
All right, you've got one left.
That was my kill. And then I jump for the other one.
It's a 3.
It's a 3.
All right, another tie.
Dang.
Clash.
What is this card?
All right, Nick.
All right. Here we go. That's a 3.
I got a 2, so you deal 1
Butcher
damage
squad.
to this thing.
1 damage. All right.
Nice.
There we go. There we go.
This card's so
Chip
weird.
damage is still damage.
Chipping down.
Damage is
Chipping
so
down.
damage. Everything helps. All right, Evan.
Alrighty. We have an essence flux of 1.
Oh, I got a 2, so you will take 1 damage off of this guy. You're able to kind of dodge the harpoon that is thrust at you. But
Yeah.
it kind of scrapes your arm.
Let me see if I'm gonna get my good card. Oh, I did!
Oh!
You're gonna devastate this guy.
What's the mana cost on that?
13!
Good lord, yeah. How would you like to kill this thing? I thought I was doing good with my 6 here, but yeah. Demolish him.
I'm gonna get my bat and I'll just be like, again! and point.
Same old story, in through the face, except this one has seen what happened to the last one, so it's kind of like grabbing at its own body as the bat moves down and then out. And we are out of combat. You
Ooh.
have devastated these monsters.
This was what I had like an accidental peek of, and I was just like, that'll be good if I flip it.
I could learn a thing or two from your bats.
The bat's gonna come over to like fly and like rest on my shoulder, but I'm gonna make it shake and like shake off all the guts before I allow it to land.
Is anyone standing next to Vanessa when this is happening?
I am,
think
but
we
I
were
don't
pretty close to
flinch.
each other.
All right, so you get a blood shower, a little rotten blood, but you don't care.
Yeah, I kind of just brush it off. It's more stains on my robe than I'm used to having at this point.
But all in the name of doing the good work of Avison.
Yes.
Do we get to look at the rest of the pack that we used for our combat?
You can if you want. You're gonna shuffle it back up for if there is any more combat, but it doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah.
Okay. I ended up having a 1 drop, 3 drop, 1 drop, 2 drop, 2 drop, 1 drop, 2 drop. So like
I did open a bunch of packs.
My pack was not super duper great.
I opened all the packs and like did the average, found the average mana cost of everything. I did the math to make sure it wouldn't be too awful.
I did get a
But-
captivating
That'll break
vampire
your
though. That's
Yo,
pretty cool.
that's the one movie poster I
Yeah.
really wanted. That was hot.
my other good hits were I got myself an Old Border Sorin, Snappy, good Snapcaster Mage,
Yes,
and a
nice.
Foil Sigarda.
Ooh,
Mm.
good hits
Foil
there.
Sorin's nice though. Like
Very, very nice.
this was a good pack. Emrakul, Sorin, and Snappy.
That's
Wow.
very nice.
That's classic Innistrad if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. All right. Ansel had kind of backed himself up out of when the combat started, but is now kind of come and look and kind of nudging these bodies, these obliterated by bats bodies that are laying kind of. It's been a very long time since I've seen anything like this.
Sam, I thought this was your graveyard. How could you not even know there was a secret passage beneath?
I mean, I do not go pushing on graves very often, or climbing on them. I find climbing on graves quite disrespectful, but I will allow it in this one instance. And I merely picked up this graph from the city. I did not grow up here.
So is there like an actual passage where the zombies came from?
Yeah, looking down into it, you see that there is a wooden ramp that slopes down to meet a stone floor, and there's just an awful stench of rotting flesh and centuries of decay that makes your stomach churn. But you've lived in Innistrad for far too long to let a little death make you sick. And then a tunnel extends towards the back of the graph, kind of in the direction of the cliff.
Shall we enter the darkness?
As they're kind of like eyeing up the entrance, I'm gonna go up to like the largest abomination, the first one that came out, and I'm gonna like take my little test tube that I had of the sample I took. Do I notice any similarities between that abomination and what I took as a sample?
Yeah, you see that the kind of like the tendril like veins are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this looks like it was a creature like a human that was corrupted and continued to live with the corruption until it became undead. But so, different.
My friends, I think we
thing.
found the final step in the metamorphosis right here. Quite interesting. I wonder if we can find more specimens down below.
Cult underground. I knew it.
I'm not looking forward to this, but I suppose we keep going. It's not very easy to fly underground, which is a tragedy for me.
Yeah, you're gonna hate this.
Dark, musty graves, though, must sound like right at home to you as I start like trudging down the stairs.
I push ahead of you to lead the way.
All right.
I kind of just hold up my hands. All right.
You follow this tunnel. You have to duck a little bit, but it's pretty
Mhm.
deep or pretty tall for a while before your foot catches on a slope upwards, and you kind of crouch to look, and there's a smaller. The tunnel gets much smaller, and then it goes very sharply upwards, like a slide or a chute. And does anyone have light down here? Or are you just wandering in the dark?
I imagine we'd probably want to give like a lantern or a torch to our lead of the group here.
Anselm's still standing at like the mouth of the grave, looking down, holding a lantern. So
Oh, I go back and I just like nab it from his hands. I go, "We'll be back."
good luck.
And I hand it off
I will
to
make
my
you dinner
metal
if you
companion.
survive. All right.
Well, if you hear blood-curdling screams, you know what probably happened.
Oh, oh yes. So now with the light down here, you could see that there are like blood stains. It looks like something, blood streaks down this slope, and then like collision marks where something had hit the wall at a high speed. But you can fit in the chute and crawl up, like kind of like bracing your back against it. It's not gonna be fun, but you can do it.
Let's do it.
In the blood stains, I assume they look old, right?
Yes, very. There are a
Yeah,
few that look
yeah.
newer,
Yeah,
but
but
most of
mostly
them look
like
quite old.
congealed blood at this
Yeah.
point. Okay, cool.
Always try to take samples.
As Coral was saying that, I'd take a test tube and kind of just like take a fresher sample and like plug it up and put it on my belt.
You turn
and I
around,
smile.
you have a Q-tip in your hand.
Yeah.
I'll shift into like a mole person, like a mole-looking person, and then I'll start to like ascend quickly up the slope.
Yeah, you hear like the little tick 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 of the metal climbing up the shaft.
I assume you want checks from us to see if we can get up this thing,
Yes,
right?
I will want a brawn check from everybody, please.
Okay.
Which is your
Sure.
toughness.
Do I
Yes.
need to climb or like? I guess would I be able to fly?
It would be.
Well,
It is very cramped in there. So I mean, if you start to fall, you could like very easily stop yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
And brawn
With my
is
mole man
green
form.
and
red.
Red. With my mole man
Yes.
form, I'll do a 9.
Okay.
Wow. I will put down a second harvest. So that's 4 plus 5. So that'll be 5 for me.
I'll
Okay.
put a alchemist greeting, which is 5 plus 2, so 7.
What is the marching order here? Obviously, Brennan
Um,
is first.
yeah, I'm right behind Karthos.
And then Misha, are you hanging back, or you would be hesitant to climb into this? Shoot.
I think I'm gonna wait and see. I don't want to be underneath if they're gonna fall down, so I might kind of wait behind a little bit until it's like, are you at the end? Can I make it up now, just in case
It
somebody falls?
it seems like there is no end in sight from where you stand to this tunnel. Even with I assume there's some like metal piece holding the lantern out of your forehead or
Mhm.
something. So I'll put you at the back. So what?
I'll
Evan,
yell up the shaft. I'm like, are you all still going?
You would be.
Yes.
I just shout down,
Yeah.
yeah!
Yes. Yes.
All right. So what did everyone get? I can't see your cards very well.
I got 5.
Okay.
9.
Mm-hmm.
Misha.
Once I finally start going, I'll have a 6.
All right. So, Evan,
Mhm.
your foot kind of slips on a bit of blood, and you lose your grip for just a fraction of a second. Kind of fall, smash your forehead on the stone, but you can catch yourself before you slide back into the people behind you. So you will lose 1 hit point, but you do not fall
Gotcha.
down.
I meant to be in a laboratory. Ugh.
All right. You climb for what seems like hours, at least to your screaming muscles, before your head, or whatever is sticking out of the front of you, Karatos,
Yeah.
smacks a surface that is not a stone. Feeling above, your fingers meet wood, and there is a bit of give when you press against the surface. You see that there is, you can see a door with gleaming metal hardware. And it does not taper, or like it does not even out or level off. So you're still kind of on this slope, but you have reached a door.
Can I shift my arm up and try the door?
It appears to be locked. If you'd like to make a brawn check, you can try and bust it open.
I would love to make a brawn check. I'm gonna use good old Get Roggy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use Get Rog, and then I'll plus my strength or my power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rog on
For
that
7.
frog.
7 on that? Okay.
All right. Yeah, you easily, like, you punch through the wood and then kind of reach over and find the latch and pull it open and push it up. And you're able to climb
Nice.
out. All right, so that all of you climb out into a musty, damp-smelling chamber where every sound echoes against thick stone walls. This room is lined by a collection of metal cages, some containing old, rotten bedrolls with edges chewed by generations of rodents. A faint light emanates from the far end of the dungeon. You can faintly hear the sound of voices.
I grab my metal friend's shoulder, and I kind of motion him towards me as I like turn down the lantern light off. Do you want me to give some form of a check to see how sneakily I can do that?
I'll give that to you. You're all pretty.
Okay.
If they didn't hear the sound of punching through the wood, you're probably okay for a little whispering.
Very fair. And then as others come up, I'll kind of like gesture with like a quiet, you know, like and then like kind of point towards the light.
Can we hear anything? You said that we heard sounds. Like, can we hear talking or?
You hear voices. You creep a little closer to catch what they're saying. So you hear, patience, patience. If divinity were so easily created, we would all be gods, would we not? So we must have patience. We must focus, for his patience is not limitless, even in his greatness, and he has waited long enough. Hush, now, how do you expect me to think with your incessant blabbering? You'll have to wait even longer if you keep distracting me. And the first voice kind of, it still is kind of like babbling, but it quiets down. And then at this point, you have seen that you've gotten close enough to see that a set of stairs leads up into a room lit by a cool blue glow. And you hear what sounds like several people walking about, but there's something off about the footsteps. It more sounds like your metallic mimic friend walking around than it does like boots. Unless you're wearing boots. Are you wearing boots? Your feet just out.
I'm
The
more
dog's just
metallic.
out there.
Dog's out.
The dogs
The
are out.
grippers.
Dogs
Get
out.
them grippers out.
Put those
You guys can
grippers
see that-
away.
You can see that Kataros is visibly as mad as a robot can look right now because he heard about like divinity
Claws,
being
angry
made.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
The exclamation point above the forehead and the head.
yeah. Just very, very angry at the fact that someone's talking about making divinity.
Hmm.
And you just see his hands turn into like swords, and he's like wanting to go kill whoever these people are.
I slowly push one of the swords down and do the shushman thing again, and then I pull out like a little scarab beetle. And is there like a gray opening or like an edge to the door that a bug could squeeze through?
The door is open. But
Oh,
you
it's
are
open.
you are down
Okay.
a set of stairs, so you can't
So
see what's
there's
up
no
there.
like direct eyesight in.
No, not yet. You'd have to go up the stairs.
Okay. I'm just gonna have my little beetle friend fly in and kind of just sneak into the edge of the door and kind of peer in and give a quick scan as my instructions to it.
All right. It goes up, and you see it kind of crawl up the side for a minute, and then come back. They're like, two people with meat, 3 people with no meat. Lots of weird boxes making weird noises, and one more person with meat. Not sure if they're alive or not. Just laying there.
Well done, my small friend. I put him back into my robe. Then I relay all this over to my friends.
Person without meat must be a skeleton.
At first, I thought you were actually your bug was talking about us because three of us have meat, and this one over here doesn't seem to be meaty. It's
Oh,
metal.
Could be a construct, could be something else made of not flesh. My specimen's language barriers are a little different than ours, so
is there anything like around the basement here that looks interesting, or like can I take a quick look around before anything else happens?
Not a ton. It's like there aren't even like well, you kind of expect from a dungeon to have kind of like maybe weapons around for the guards to hold or anything, but this one just seems very plain with just cages, like more of a storage room than a prison.
Right, right.
While we're waiting in here debating about what we're gonna do, I think Vanessa would be like thinking about if there's a lot of things with meat and one thing without meat that I'm very unsure about. I'm not feeling too well. Um, it's a good thing I left a small little vial as a snack in my locket. Can I like drink my little like blood vial locket and try to heal a little bit?
If you have a weight card in your hand, you may.
I have an apothecary geist. Um
What's the
how
mana
much I
cost on
guess
that?
how are we doing healing? It is a 4 mana cost, but it's a 2/3.
I was gonna go off the mana cost, I think is what I put.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that 4 HP?
Yep, and then you can put that card in your combat deck. It is used up.
Is
Cool.
there any way that we can we assist with healing too? I know you took a big chunk.
I'll let you donate white cards as well. I'm nice.
White card, okay. Yeah, I'll donate a Lunarch mantle, so you get another 2.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your generous donation.
Of course, of course. I work around quite a few vampires. I know it's better to have a snack for them to partake in than to become the snack.
Yeah, you're a smart man.
I've
There's
been
a lot
alive
of
this
them.
long.
What should we do?
Is there any other entrances or exits into this room outside of the one that we obviously came in through, Emma?
Not that you can tell.
Okay.
Should we set up some sort of trap for them?
Hmm.
You would
That
notice
could
that
be
there's nothing in any of the cages.
Nothing in the cage.
Do you think those creatures may be their pets? And then, maybe when they sleep or are doing anything that requires their attention and they cannot provide adequate supervision, they put them in these cages, perhaps?
Maybe a storage solution for them. Yes, I could definitely see that. Hmm.
Does it look like the cages have a valid working locking mechanism?
Uh,
Uh, yeah, it looks like they have like it's kind of like a slide latch, and then there are a couple like very everything in here looks ancient, very very old, but there are some very old padlocks that are about that probably won't break super easy.
Even if it's just for a small bit, if we can shove it in there and then, kill it from the outside, that still seems like a feasible option.
could. Hmm. We could also try to fool them. I'm trying to think what angle we could go about, make them think that we're part of this whole operation here. Hmm.
Um, can I attempt to like, since the door is open, can I try to sneak up and like try to get a better view? I just want to get more information about what's going on in there.
Give me, what did we decide for stealth last time? Just any check? Or you're a 1/1, so that it doesn't really matter.
Oh, black, I
Yeah,
think we said.
I think
Black?
we use black. Yeah,
Yeah. We'll go with
I
that.
probably will need assistance on this. Blade stitch
sense it's
scab.
good
It's
stuff.
2.
I will give you an epitaph golem, which is 5.
Nice.
All right, so you're
So that would
creeping up
be a total of
8.
8. Yeah.
Um, so Colro will sort of create this like air of dark mist around you, sort of obscure you in darkness.
So yeah, the shadows kind of cling to you as you kind of sneak your way up, staying close to the wall.
Sure.
And peering into the room, your eyes fall on the strangest laboratory you've ever seen. A bizarre mix of the ancient and the state of the art. Old glass devices sit beside gadgets crackling with arcane energy. Long dripping candles illuminate beakers filled with bubbling liquids of every color. Strange machines hum atop antique tables. And several skeletons clatter about, carrying supplies, breaking up pieces of furniture to feed a massive furnace. All of them maneuvering around the pale, motionless form on the metal table in the center of the room without a single care. The larger figure works with his back to you, hunched over a workbench against the far wall. Wires and tubes swing down from the thick metal armor that covers his torso, some casting an eerie green glow over the surrounding space. Electricity crackles across metal spires that jet from his shoulders, but he pays this no mind. The other figure tends almost lovingly to the body laying motionless on the metal platform in the center of the room, smoothing her hair and adjusting the wings folded under her. An antler-like headdress adds sharp, jagged angles to his silhouette, throwing an unnerving shadow behind him.
Do I see any other entrances or exits into this room?
On the far wall, there are stairs leading up and out.
Yeah, gotcha. So you said their skeletons kind of like tending to a furnace of some kind, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
they're just kind of wandering about, helping.
interesting. I am out of brain cards. Can I open another pack? Is that a thing I can do?
Well, someone else is going to have to do brain checks. You can all decide to open a next pack together.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking like trying to like mage hand one of the skeletons into the furnace to create some form of a distraction potentially, or something like that.
I do have a lot of brain checks left.
Yeah, I
Cool.
did too.
Are you able to? Do you have magic of that sort? Blood Tithe Harvester?
I don't know if that's really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Casting darkness and that sort of thing, yes.
That could be helpful. So I'm gonna come back down and I'll relay what I've seen in there and like the situation. I we could tell them about the potential distraction that we could use, or if there's some way we could rush past them and up into the next room. That could also be another option.
Do you think we can take them in physical combat?
There's quite a few of them. I think it'd be more advantageous for us to attempt to get to the other side of that door and see if there's some way we could bar it or keep them from coming through. I don't think they would have any way to alert the rest of the facility of our whereabouts.
Well, if you just need a large distraction, um, I may have a solution.
Hmm.
My bats, I mean, you've seen how vicious they can be, but I can summon a few of them. And so I could just send them in there to cause a giant chaotic circumstance while we sneak up, if that would do the trick.
Maybe a combination of your bats, my bugs, and a little bit of darkness, and we could sneak our way up into there. Do we like that plan?
Like that plan.
Yeah, yeah.
You said there were skeletons in the room? Is that what you said?
Yeah, there was two of them kind of tending to a furnace.
I'm gonna shapeshift into like a metallic skeleton.
Ah.
So if I was to cast some sort of darkness spell, would I use? Oh, is that a
I would
Probably
brain?
brain stat.
yeah, I do a brain check.
All right, all right. Let's go all in here. We're gonna use this Jace Unraveler of Secrets, which is 5,
Ooh.
Nice.
plus my brain, which is 3, for a total of 8.
And
To
are you
cause
Nice.
darkness in the main room up there.
okay?
I'm doing this in conjunction with the other things that the other folks are
All right.
doing, so we do it
Yeah,
all at
This
once.
is stage 1, or well, I mean, it all happens at the same time. But part 1.
Can I use a
Um,
brain check to kind of like get the information from Dr. Brundle to mimic them to the best of my ability and like try to really like match them so
Sure.
me running around there would not get their attention if they did see me because I'm kind of loud.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So I'll do a brain check.
Can I bolster all of my bats?
I'll have that be a brawn check to beef up your bats that you're summoning.
And beef up the bats.
Beef the bats.
Beef up the birds.
I can make them real beefy, like where they're flipping tables, or I can make them like mid beefy.
Just really got to create a distraction so you can be mid beefy for now, probably.
All right, I'm gonna go real beefy on my bats then. I'm gonna just for. I think 3 bats would be probably the most I could have at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
But these bats are swole with your big boy there.
My
Cultivated.
7 mana cultivator colossus. I'm making colossal bats.
Yep, these are the biggest boys you've
What
ever
if we-
summoned.
What if we do all of this to be like a distraction to really like get a good hit on them?
Yeah, yeah, like an advantage sort of situation, where we all get like a
Yeah.
free hit or something like that first. Yeah, I dig
I'm,
that.
I'm pre-buffing my bats with a cultivator colossus.
All right. Is
They're
is
the
everyone
biggest
ready?
thing bats you've ever seen.
Like those
Like,
big
if
ones
I'm
in like
normal size,
Australia
this
that
is
are
my
people
bat.
sized.
Chugging protein powder.
These
I'll
bats are
use a
swole.
miscut
Buddy.
docet of protection or perfection,
Ooh.
and then my additional intelligence is a +2.
Okay. So you think you have a pretty good handle on the look and basic behavior of these skellies.
Very nice. Okay. I think between all my 3 allies attempted things, I'm gonna hold off on doing stuff. I think whenever we're ready to go in, I think probably letting Brendan in first would be the right move. I feel like to just like have him in the room, and then we start all the distractions, and then Brendan could like I don't know, do something crazy.
Sounds a good idea.
Yeah,
All
cool,
right.
cool.
Brendan, you're going in first.
How about you have your bats chase me in? So I'm like frantic. And they're all looking at the bats behind. And I get close to that thing at the table. And then map it. Make them really angry.
Yeah, I'll just relay to my bats. Pretend like you're chasing the metal man, and then just destroy everything that you see aside from said metal man.
You get little affirmative squeaks.
And I have released the bats.
All right.
I run in.
All right, you dash in, waving your little skelly arms, and the creature with the antlers kind of standing over the table looks up, and and he freaks out. He's like, no, do not let it near the table. It will ruin its purity. And the other skeletons kind of drop what they have, grab kind of the largest thing near it, and start swinging up at these bats as they're just kind of going around, swooping down at you, but never making contact. And the other figure at the table just picks up this large, or well, I guess it's not large, it's a scalpel, a nasty looking scalpel, and kind of comes and looks up at the bats. It's like, where do these damn things come from? I thought we killed everything in this manner.
And then Carlo's magic.
Ah, yes. The darkness will kick in. Then after the chaos begins, then the darkness will flood the room.
The darkness seeps in and kind of surrounds everything. There's you hear more cursing from the deeper voice, and the other one's like, your machines have failed us, your machines have failed us, you hear kind of just like skittering around.
So with the darkness like coming in before it gets to me, can I get to the person who's close to the table, like protecting the body? And I want to attack that first.
Okay, you see this person, you get pretty close before they realize, oh, this skeleton's not one of mine, and he's charging me. So, we begin combat, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let me switch to a combat deck. We'll use this one.
We open a new pack for
Do we open a new pack and use that now?
I originally had you have the same combat deck, and then you just add used up cards to it to make it different. But, I mean, we can change the rules however you want them. If you have a pack you're itching to open, we can open it.
I'm itching.
All right, open it.
Yeah, new pack.
New pack.
Yeah, let's just.
Actually, I like that. That means Emmy's not coming back to get me.
Or at least not as frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like Emrakul, and I used Cultivator Colossus, so that's two big boys that have just entered the ring.
Should we mix it with our other pack or just use that pack?
Just use that
keep
pack.
it the same. And then
Yeah, let's just use the one pack.
One pack? Okay.
Yeah.
I just took. We're taking the tokens out, right?
Yeah, take the tokens out.
Yeah.
Okay. I once again removed my token and saw a glint of a big boy, so.
Oh, that's great for me.
It's not the same big boy, but there's a chunker in this deck.
We love a big old
My
chunk.
rare's not a chunker.
I did not mean
At
to
least one of the
see it.
rares.
Okay. I think I've gotten an okay shuffle.
All right. You ready, Brendan?
Yeah.
All right, flip your first card.
Oh, syncopate. It's X1.
All right, we got
I won't
3.
lie. I know it's a little mana value, but after this weekend, you and syncopates just give me bad flashbacks.
Definitely syncopate. I'm so sorry.
So this figure sees you coming and pulls a dagger from his belt and kind of sinks it into just like the biggest bone he can see on your body. So you're a skeleton, and he's like.
I transform back into my normal form after it hits me. I'm like, oh.
And he's kind. At first he's surprised, but then you see like a grin growing across his face. He's like, "Oh, he hears me. The Dark Lord hears my call. He delivers willing subjects into our waiting arms. Welcome, guests, welcome." And then what would the rest of you like to do? Are you going straight combat or?
How much damage did I take?
Charge.
2?
Yeah, I think so.
Two.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're all charging in there. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna need initiative then. So everyone flip a card and give me that mana cost.
2.
1.
One. I got a crawl from the cellar.
I got a Snapcaster Mage 2.
All right,
Nice.
so again, Misha and
Snap is all
Evan.
around.
Hey, boy.
Misha and Evan, you guys have to fist fight or something to who goes first.
Misha, you can go first this time.
I'll go. Yeah, my bats are already in there, so like I feel like it'd be.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they're not taking too much damage. My
And
precious babies.
Is this whole room dark?
It's a babies.
Yeah, so like
So none of you can
Yep.
see. Except maybe Brendan and this figure that are like up in each other's grills.
Mm-hmm. They're right on top of each other.
My
for
bats. Is it like magical darkness, or like?
I imagine
do
it's
I-
similar to
how-
like. Oh, go ahead.
It's
How do
your
we want to
magic.
rule that, DM?
Uh, it's an extension of the shadows. You're manipulating the existing shadows.
Hmm.
So it's just
Could I
Potential
manipulate it
darkness.
so that it doesn't affect like a circle around me? Like as we all run up, like we move through the darkness.
sure, because I think that's cool. I will allow it.
That's
I
freaking
would
sick.
I would like to direct my bats to attack the lady. Because there was a lady up here, right?
There is a feminine figure laying motionless, and then there is a smaller humanoid figure with like an antler headdress, and then like a larger figure with armor. Like perhaps maybe an ecstatic awakener and a laboratory maniac, perhaps.
Mm, mm.
Hmm. I will attack. I'll probably attack the armored one because it probably looks the most menacing. So I will send my bat swarm at them.
Okay. Flip a card.
Oh no!
You've got a 3 to beat.
I gotta land, so I take 3.
You take 3.
I run up and it's still dark and I trip.
So the laboratory maniac kind of looks down at you, and then it has like this gauntlet of arcane energy that kind of just zaps where you are on the ground to deliver the damage.
Yep.
Nice.
Oop, I did this backwards. Nick should have gone first. Oh well. Nick, you can go next.
That's okay. I'll go next.
Mm.
All right. That is a 8.
Oh.
And I've got a 2.
Ooh.
Who are you swinging at?
What are you going after?
Oh, we're going straight for the lab man. We're gonna come with claws in darkness.
All right. You see this as your light kind of surrounds him for a brief minute. He's blinking and blinded, and then you're right on top of him with the claws for 6 damage.
Nice.
Very good.
All right. Evan.
Yes. So with this attack, I think I kind of remember the general direction of where the skeletons are. I imagine they're still pretty close to that furnace, right?
Yes.
Could I attempt to like do like a I think it's called like thunderous wave in D&D to like
Blast
essentially
both of
like
them?
try to use magic to push them back, and if I win this check, I push them back into the furnace.
Sure.
All right. See what we get. That's a 3.
And that's a 2, so you would win.
Ooh.
I like to
That's
imagine
so
they
good.
just burned their butts a little bit in the furnace, like, ooh!
So you
Toasty.
you blast them back, and you can't see what happens because it's in the darkness, but you hear kind of the sounds of bones clattering across the ground. So you know you did something.
Great. Love to hear it.
All right, Brendan, back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my hand into the symbol of Avison. I'm gonna take a swing. Ooh. Richard Griff. 7.
God damn.
Ow.
Okay, I did a 1.
We're hit. We're hit.
The power of Avison compels you.
All right, you bash into his head, and the headdress kind of cracks and splits where you've hit him, and he cries out. All right, now we're going in actual order. Nick, you'd be next.
All right. That's a 3.
I got a
Down
1.
5. Moons.
Are you still
Yeah, we'll
after
just
Lab Man?
still go after that lab man.
Okay.
Clawing at him.
And what did you get? Sorry, a 3.
A 3.
All right. All right. Then was it Misha next, and then Evan? I don't
Yep.
remember. Okay, Misha.
Yeah.
I'll be on the ground since last time. I'd like to think I tripped and fell before I could actually give my bats orders. So this time I'll look up and yell to them, be like, that one, the more armored one. And I got Slayer of the Wicked, which is 4.
And I got a 2, so that's 2 damage. You're after Lab Man as well.
Yeah.
All right, the bats swoop down and sink their extra large this time teeth into this, into the fleshy bits they can find around all this metal and tech.
The swole teeth.
Swole teeth. All right, Evan. You can hear the footsteps of one skeleton.
Okay, all right. There's like electricity flowing through these machines above us, right?
They're kind of, like around you. The ones that haven't been broken by the bats, just going haywire.
I'm gonna like sense the current and try to like redirect it in the general direction of where I hear those skeletons.
Ooh, okay.
Demonic Taskmaster 3.
This is a 4. So
Oof.
you manage to catch the electricity, but as you pull it, you pull a little too hard, and it kind of shocks you instead of the skeleton that you were aiming for, and you lose a point, one hit
Gotcha.
point. All right, we're back to Brendan.
I'm gonna look at my card first and see what thematically does.
All right, and you will notice as you wind up to do another strike, this guy, this eccentric individual kind of reaches up to his head and grabs some of the blood and smears it across his chest over where you see there's a line of like 5 tattoos going down. He smears it across the top one, and you see, even though with all the darkness, you kind of see his shadow grow into this large hulking beast with massive wings and hooked hands, as he will be able to add a second card from the Grizzlebrand deck to his attack.
Oh man,
Bristlebrand deck.
That's a Grizzlebrand deck.
As he calls on his patron for help.
Hey, yo, hello.
I see how scary he looks, and I put my arms together and kind of flatten them like a shield and brace myself. I only got a 1.
All right, so it's a 1 plus a land, so it's only a 1.
Hey, your shield worked.
You're able to
Flashed
block
together,
hard enough.
Your shield thematically worked.
It did. Bless.
Put these over here. All right, Nick. It's you, a land man.
Let's get this lab man. Yes, arise from the tides, which is 6.
And that's a Duskwatch Recruiter, which is a 2. How would you like to kill this individual?
Okay. So I'm going to put him into some sort of like trance, right? He's just going to be sort of locked in place. He's going to be looking at me, making eye contact. He's going to blink. I'm going to be gone. And I'll be right behind him. And I'll just rip his throat apart.
Oh god.
Metal.
Right. He just collapses, kind of gurgling on his own blood as he chokes and falls to the ground. And the
are they
electricity.
covered in darkness, or do we see this?
I assume this would be in the sphere of light around our friend here. So
Yeah.
you can choose how traumatized you want to be by this.
You
Or if you're into it, you're a vampire.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I probably hear this and I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
All right, Lab Man is out of the picture.
Nice.
The electricity sparking off of his armor falls. It falls away.
Alright.
All right, Misha, you next?
Yep. I got an angelic purge.
And I got a
My little
land.
angels will continue to rip into the now even more strong.
Oh, you're going for that guy? Okay, so he gets a Grizzlebrand card, so he's gonna be a 4. What did you?
A 3.
A 3. Okay. So he crosses off another one of the tattoos on his chest, and the shadow behind him roars as he strikes with an unnatural strength at you.
I see him knock one of my little baby bats onto the ground. I'm like, no. And I lose a point of damage.
Mother help.
Mother help.
Bartholomew, no.
No, my boy.
Bartholomew.
No.
I remember him well.
All right.
God, where's an infinite token when you need one?
Yeah.
Need a official
I mean, you see it. I
Bartholomew.
have them
Yeah.
sitting right next to me if I wanted to draw
Don't
Bartholomew.
threaten her with a good time. All right, Evan. Got one pesky
Yeah.
skeleton and a static awakener, powered by Grizzlebrand.
Gotcha. I think I'm gonna stick with the skeletons because I have a general idea where they're at. I'm going to like release a jar of bugs on the ground and attempt to like direct them towards the final skeleton.
Alright.
2.
This is a 3. So the
Jeez.
skeleton kind of swings towards your cloud of bugs, trying to knock them out of the air, and kind of its claws kind of scrape across your face. You catch a stray there.
Little slice across my face.
All right.
This is not my kind of lab.
All right, Brendan, we're back to you.
Alright, let's see. Okay. So I'm still face to face with this guy, and I'm like,
Guys, I might need some help here.
I got a 2.
I got a 5. I risked it. I didn't use the Grizzlebrand deck, and it worked out for me for 3 damage. As you see the blade coming down as you is wrapped in shadow, that kind of pierces into your shield much deeper than it should by your experience with combat. All right, Nick.
Yes. I'm sorry, I was admiring Bartholomew.
Yeah, I'm seeing him now too.
He's a big chungus.
That's only a 2 to come swinging back at the Awakener.
All right, and I also have a 2, so you will trade blows.
Flash.
They'll kiss.
Kiss.
Just a little tease. Just a little
Kiss.
The enemies to lovers arc starts now.
Oh my god. We didn't even try to romance anybody yet.
That's true. We could have done that. We didn't.
You
We didn't
coulda.
build that into the system. Romance.
Damn.
Yeah, would that be a brain or a brawn? Riz would have to be its own thing.
It depends.
We'll work on
it
it.
depends on the person.
Yeah. And how you're trying to riz.
All right, Misha.
All right. After seeing Bartholomew go down, I'll send Bartholomew's siblings to go fight in his stead.
All right.
It's a 1, so they're not very strong apparently.
This is a 3. Crusader of
They're-
Odric.
They're crying a little bit, so they're not on their game. So I'll take a couple
They're in
damage.
mourning.
Bartholomew.
Brother.
You hear this thing screaming as it's attacking. He's like, a new breed of vampire will make your kind obsolete. You will be small, weak things, but not useless. The new bloodline will feed on your kind. Your lives will not be for naught. And then, who's next? Dr. Brundle.
I believe it would be me. So,
Are you still after that skeleton?
I guess my question to you is can I attempt to use my turn to transform? I'm seeing my allies like taking a real hard beating, and I'm remembering like an aspect of my research that's still kind of like very experimental. Have no idea if this is gonna work, but
Go
we're
right
getting
ahead.
beaten down. How would you like me to do that?
Would you like to explain your transformation?
Sure. So, I'm gonna go to like the back of my robe, and I pull out like a flask, and it just says like experiment 3-4-5 in process. Do not drink, and I'm gonna crack open the top of it and just swig it.
All right, I will let you add a bonus card to your check.
Okay. Like from my normal hand.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. I think I'll just throw down because I don't have any. Well, I have a black card. Do you want it to be like specific to mind or anything specific at all?
No.
I guess it would be more of a body check, right?
Depends on if If you're going like melee mode now that you have transformed, then yeah, maybe Braun.
Yeah. All right. We'll throw down a
Who are
green
you?
card, and we'll flip this obviously other green card
Who are
for
you
a
going
total
after?
of 4.
There's one
Then I'll
skeleton
flip
by you,
here.
and then you've got the main
I think
guy.
I'm gonna swing at the skeleton for sure, because it's been frustrating me quite a bit, and you see like my robe kind of bursts off of me, and like insectoid wings come off of me, and I have these pinchers now, but I still have my human head, and I take a big mandible and I slice it down on this skeleton.
Or what did you have?
See, it's 4 plus the 3.
So 7.
So 7.
I had a 2, so you absolutely obliterate the skeleton.
Slice at it, and the bones just like.
You guys will
Even
see
in her
bones.
mourning of Bartholomew, Vanessa looks over and that's just like, that's not something you see every day.
The skeleton's bones
Just
come
take
clattering
roll
into the
notebook and
circle
put
of
another
light.
tick down for probably from the asylum.
All right, Brendan.
Yes.
I'm gonna continue like trying to contest this person and trying to hold them back. Can I use my card to shapeshift into one of my allies and give them a thematic +1/+1 or just a +1 to their next turn? Because
Sure.
I choose a creature type and then I can give a +1/+1 to those creature types.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I'll turn into like an insect-looking metallic thing because I get inspired by seeing Dr. Brundle do that. And I'm like,
So you do that instead of your attack?
Maybe this will help.
So is that instead of your attack, or are you're still
I
attacking?
mean, whatever you want. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to attack, but it's gonna be bad.
All right, we'll do attack.
It's a 2. I'm taking
I've also
I'm
got
taking.
a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Taking hits. Yeah.
Taking
So-
it.
And then who are you giving your +1 to?
To Dr. Brundle,
Okay.
just so I can not do vampire and not buff 2 people. I'll buff 1 person.
All right. Nick, you are next.
All right, we're going
It's-
for this
The
static.
the guy,
Ooh.
this figure has seen you tear apart his lab assistant and is going to use another one of his sigils on his chest.
Oh
For
no.
A 6 plus
Oh
1
no.
6.
for 7.
Oh, 7. I had a 1. So that's a hot 6 damage to me.
It's hot 6 damage.
It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts.
It's exciting.
Okay. It's okay. It would be boring if we weren't taking hits. All right.
You're right.
All right. Misha.
All right. Oh, okay. This was my chonker that I had a sneak preview of on accident.
Oh, yeah.
Oh baby.
Full baby,
Oh,
for
baby.
7.
Yeah, so you do a big chunk of damage. I only have a 3. So
I'll tell my other 2 bat children to get it together like we practiced in honor of Bartholomew, and
they coordinate their attack, coming down from opposite sides to smack at the same time, and he's looking real rough.
Oof.
you've
Evan,
done Bartholomew proud.
you have a +1, and he's going to
Okay.
use his second to last sigil.
I am immediately going to skither over to the Gristlebrand looking MFer over there, and just attempt to take a big swipe at them. So that's +1, so it'll be a 4 with the Imprisoned in the Moon, a nice retro foily one too.
That is nice. I also got a 4, so you guys will bounce off of
Thank-
each other.
Thank God you had the 1.
Yeah, that oof. Oof.
All right, Brendan.
I see him come over and I get excited. I get so excited I get distracted and I'm not paying attention to the next attack. I got a 0.
I also pulled a land, so you were in
Oh.
luck.
Ah! We're both distracted.
Yeah.
This
Everyone's
this
distracted by
big
the
bug
big
thing came
buzz
into
man.
the light, and everyone's like, everyone's freaking out.
That just that man ain't right.
There's something wrong with it.
Right.
All right, Nick,
Let's do it.
Right.
That's a 3.
and I got a 2.
Nice.
Wandering mind. So that's one damage there. Nice.
All right, this figure's got blood like seeping out of his mouth. Like he's still gripping the knife, but it's rough. He's just kind of like mumbling to himself, like, "No, this wasn't supposed to happen. Griselbrand would never have allowed this to happen." And Misha, he's gonna use his final sigil.
I got a 1.
I got a 3. I pulled a land and a 3. So that's 2 damage.
I think my bats are getting tired, and
They're tired and in mourning.
mhm. I think they've done all they can do for now, and so I'm just the sitting. Yeah.
All
So
right.
I'll take 2. My bats are sad. They're taking psychic damage.
Evan, you still got the +1 on you.
Okay. All right. So this thing is blocking one of my large blade arms. I'm gonna like out of the other 6, I have 2 other like tinier ones. I'm gonna take another one, just swipe from underneath. Oh, there we go. Cathar's Crusade.
Nice.
5. That's pretty.
That's a hot
I
poster.
flipped
Yeah.
Yes.
an Id of the Horde Swarm for 8.
Oh no!
That's magic, baby. That's magic, baby.
Magic baby. Oh god, how much was that again?
So yours was 6 and this was 8, so 2.
Not too
Oh,
bad.
it was 5.
Okay.
So it'd be
So
3.
you had the
actually.
+1, right?
Did
Yeah,
you
the
add a
plus
second?
Oh wait, yeah.
Did you add
I
a
did have
second
the
card
+1,
for your
6.
transform
Yeah.
ability?
Oh, I guess I could. Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I will, because it's a 6 right now, and you got an 8, right?
Uh-huh.
You got an 8, right?
Yeah.
I'll throw down a harvest hand
All right.
to make it 9.
How would you like to kill this creature?
Yeah.
So these middling arms kind of come out and they kind of unfurl. They look very like unassuming, and then all of a sudden like claws come in and they just like go in for the guts and just like eviscerate and pull them out.
You hear this man scream, but also this otherworldly, demonic kind of shriek as well, kind of wraps around the room. It sounds like it's coming from every direction as the shadow behind him, that the huge wings crumbles away, and you are left in a quiet room.
Now that we're out of combat, I'm gonna go over to Dr. Brumble and be like, so, is this temporary, or is this just like the new you?
Only time will tell.
That was easy.
Dr. Brundle starts like looking around the room like a bug, just like, and my head starts moving 360 as well too, like a mantis. Just looking around.
Oh.
Yeah, Vanessa, she's gonna back way off. She's like, I'm not a fan. I don't want any part of
Can I-
that.
Can I check if the person on the table's alive?
Yes, you can.
Would you like me to make any checks, or
No, I'll just let you look.
I'm trying to shake this person awake, like see if there's anything connected to this person and try and take anything off that's on them.
There's nothing on her. It's a pale young woman, very deathly pale, like your vampire friends, laying on her back with quite large, still a little small, but quite large wings folded underneath her, with thick fleshy veins crisscrossing over the feathers, kind of pulsing ever so slightly. Her chest rises and falls under a plain white shift that covers her. She's quite beautiful, but has the same kind of unnerving, unreal look of the other bodies you found. But she does appear to be alive.
I forgot to say this, but I'm also gonna go scoop up Bartholomew.
Rest in peace.
You gave him proper burial.
My son.
My son, my boy.
I have a feeling this person is still alive. What do you guys want to do with her?
Alive specimen. Can I look around the room and kind of try to surmise if there's some way to if there's like an awakening mechanism or a control mechanism for this thing they're working on potentially?
Yeah, looking around, you see there are a lot of like fairly recent technological devices that you've seen and have wanted for your own laboratory, but also things that may have been used to create the very first vampires back in Edgar Markov's experiments with Griselbrand over 6,000 years ago. As far as you can see, that you kind of find a bluish kind of concoction over where the lab maniac was standing before you think this. It's similar to like something synthesized of a berry back from where you're found that is used as a sedative. You think maybe this could be. You need very little of it to keep someone out for a long time, so you think this might be what's keeping them
under essentially
in a suspended state for a long time.
Gotcha. It appears our friend here is under an induced sleep of sorts.
How long do you suspect, Doctor, that this heavy sedation shall last?
Can I make a mind check to kind of see how long I think
You can.
she's got?
Yeah.
It's my last mind card, I think, and it's not a great one, so any assistance would be greatly appreciated. I got a tragic slip for 1.
I can.
So with my
I can
thing
help
would
you
be
with
3.
I got I'll adjust the machines to
Yeah.
help you see it better, and I'll have a conjurer's closet for 5.
Nice. How much is that?
5.
For 6
5?
total?
Cool. 6 plus 2, so 8.
You think there's probably a couple hours left, and even when she wakes, she'll be groggy. She's probably not going to leave here under her own steam.
Do you
I
think
relay that info. Go for it.
I was gonna say, do you think that with the modifications to this poor lady that I'm very nervous about how her waking up is going to go, because I'm assuming that these wings and tentacles are, not natural, and would it be a mercy to just, should we kill her here?
While she still sleeps before her monstrosity awakens, yes.
Yeah, Cordo
We were
gets it.
taking
Oh, go for it.
we were taking a lot of care, so she might be someone important.
The perfected specimen, yes.
Brendan, can I get a mind check from you?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a sort of religion check?
We'll do the soul guided griff for 5, and then I got my modifier, which is 2.
Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah. So you know the tales of how Avacyn is like a sort of a synthetic angel created by Soren to protect humans. And you're wondering if this might be something similar, like a created angel.
This could be some dark doing. So we might want to consider how we move on from here. I don't want to make any of the decisions, but I do want this corruption to end.
Well,
My vote is the killer.
Avison was derived from a vampire, after all, and she did go crazy with a little bit of a nudge. Best not to leave similar experiments born of the same root to repeat itself.
I think it sounds like we have a majority who want to stop this creature from waking.
Will,
All right
of
then,
course,
Koro, why don't you take something stabby and, handle the problem for us?
across the neck should be fine. I would like to keep most of the vitals intact to study later.
Okay. Yeah. Is everyone cool with this?
I hold up my buzzer mandibles and I nod, and then my head moves a bunch
I
of
give you
different
2
directions.
thumbs up, and I'm like, yes, buddy, buddy. Go for
All
it.
right. All right. Koro is gonna just bangs out, just drain this lady of everything she's got and tear her to pieces.
That was a little more graphic than I had expected. I assumed that you were going to use a knife or some other instrument, not your mouth. God, not the mouth.
It's a strange taste. You've fed on beings that have been corrupted by Eldrazi before, but this is a little bit different, and you can't help wonder if there is going to be some after effect of this, but that's for another one shot. But you managed to drain this angel of her blood. And eventually her chest falls still.
Very good. Very good.
I look at Corlo after this, and I in like the second set of hands, I have like a pen and paper. Please tell me, what are you feeling after you've consumed its blood?
It feels strange, but good. But very good.
Yes. We will definitely have to see what the after or long-term effects will be on this. Quite interesting.
Delver of Secrets is a therapist confirmed.
How does this make
How
you
does
feel?
that make you feel?
Multifaceted scientist.
That's why he's delving for secrets. He needs to know the secrets of how your brains work.
Secret of the mind.
Yes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go up to that door that was leading out. Do I notice anything about it? Is it locked? Does it lead somewhere? Is there something behind it? Yada yada yada.
Perhaps I misspoke. There's a stairs leading up. There's not a door on this side of it, but you may go up those stairs.
Yes,
and you will find my notes. You find yourself behind. There's a bit of light coming from the top, and you find yourself behind a torn canvas of some kind.
Is there blood on this canvas?
It does not appear to be bloody.
I try to put the pieces together to see if there's like a message or an image or something on it.
It appears that the image is on the other side. You are looking at the back of this painting.
So we just push through.
It's a secret door down to the cellar.
Oh.
Does it open
Yeah,
from our side?
I poke my bug head through, and I kind of just like do a 360 with my bug head.
I imagine it's one of those portraits where you poked your head in right where like the neck is, and so now it's your
my weird human bug head.
You stick your weird bug head through, and you are looking out. You are up on a dais overlooking a ruined ballroom, where the far end of the far end of the hall has crumbled inward. The ceiling has come down. The walls have kind of, and you can see out into the night or the morning. I don't know what time it is.
Excellent.
Whatever's the most beautiful to imagine.
Yeah, I pull my head back in. I relay that back to folks. And then I walk over to the body and I attempt to like unshackle it and like try to like put it on my large thorax now to like carry back.
She's not bound tight. It's just like kind of straps, like
Yeah.
she wasn't fighting it or anything. So you're able to remove those and
Yeah.
put the body in a manner that you don't think you will damage it for further in experiments and autopsy or whatever you would like.
Seems our work is done here, unless any of you want to bring anything else back to prove a job well done.
I suppose that body should, suffice. I'm just happy this is another odd job down for Vanessa McBats.
I did not realize you were from the McBats clan. All of the bad blood between us is gone. I guess
Do you go out
just
through
walk down the chute.
You're going out the chute, or you want to go out the portrait?
Do we want to go out the? We'll go out the tapestry way. We haven't been that way yet.
All right.
Actually, before we leave, is there any books or anything left behind, especially that the headdress priest could have been messing around with?
The ones that you find are mostly rotten, as it seems that this laboratory was abandoned for several thousand years since.
Yeah,
Edgar
and the
last used
new
it.
folks didn't bring any new literature in.
No, you might find on the body maybe like a notebook with some like cult crazy writing in it, but nothing that
Oh yeah, we're definitely
any
taking that
academic-
along too.
No, you could take that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I get to the hole. I just drop the body down, and then I take like my insectoid legs and just spit her down.
You're going down the
I'm gonna take
hole, the body chute.
Yeah,
All right.
down the chute that
I'm
we
gonna turn
came
into
up
a
anyway.
luge. I'm just gonna luge down the hole.
All right.
I'm gonna just fly out the tapestry way. Like, I'll meet
Alright.
you guys around front.
You go up and you press your hand against the the side of the painting, and it swings open, and you're able to
Nice.
walk out. And looking behind you, you see a weathered painting that has gotten some brunt of the weather from the ceiling being missing. A blonde, stern-faced, regal-looking man in ornate crimson and silver armor. His hands rest on the hilt of a sword, and he does not smile.
That's our
Would I
poor
recognize this guy?
You would likely recognize Edgar Markov.
Oh, okay.
Papa.
Papa.
Grandpa. Grandpapa.
Grandpa.
All right, and in various ways, you can make your way back to back to the home of Anselm, who did make you dinner as he promised, and
Yeah.
that is where we will conclude our story.
We did it.
Good job,
Yay.
everybody.
Yay! The system worked.
Yay!
So-
Very
Fun-
good.
Fun fact, I ended this at 6 HP. I healed 6 HP from...
We didn't
So,
discuss what
if I
happens if
didn't
you
take that-
died.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, if I didn't give you that assistance too, oh my god.
If you didn't give me
Oh my
assistance, I would
God.
have been at 4. So, yeah.
Mhm.
I was very, very low. I would have
Yeah.
died if I hadn't taken a little chance to heal up.
Jeez. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for playing with me. Do you guys want to do a quick run around to tell people where they can find you? Starting with Evan.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me switch to this.
Ooh,
Yeah.
they a streamer.
Yeah, streamer vibes, right? Hi, Evan, Dark Pack Cosplay over here. MTG cosplayer, content creator, MTG ambassador, yada yada yada. You can find me all over the internet as Dark Pack Cosplay. I imagine this is probably coming out before
Thursday.
MagicCon Chicago, maybe?
Yeah. Yep, I'm aiming
Which
for this
people can
Thursday. So before.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Then
For the
you
second
can see
bout.
me there. I have an awesome cosplay that I'm bringing to that con. It'll be a very fun time. I'll be in the cosplay contest, so come check me out there.
All right. I see Misha has loaded up her just chatting screen, so we'll go over to you.
Hi, everybody. I am Magic Mishamigo. I'm also a Magic the Gathering cosplayer, content creator, and just silly little guy on the internet. You can find me at magic_Mishamigo on most social medias. On Blue Sky, it's just Magic Mishamigo, all smushed together. But yeah, I will also be at MagicCon Chicago. I'm not competing in the cosplay contest this time, but I will be wearing a silly little cosplay. So if you want to see race car Fibblethip, um, come find me.
So excited for Race Car
Nice.
Fibblethip. All right, Brendan.
Hi, friends. I'm trying to be cool like them. Okay, I'm cool like them. Um, uh, Hi, friends. I'm MTG Baron. I also go by Brendan, and I do short form content primarily on TikTok and Instagram. I will also be at Chicago with all of these lovely people, and I will not be crazy cosplay, but I'll be crazy as usual, probably doing some silly little pranks and videos and stuff like that, as always. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope you guys enjoyed the session.
All right, Nick.
Hello, everybody. I'm Yog, Yog Goth all over the internet. I also will be in Chicago in a cosplay. That's where you can find me next month here in February. Let's see. Thanks so much for having me, Emma. This is a blast. I like to, getting
Yeah.
wacky with it, as always. So I had fun.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you so much for watching. You can find Innistrad Remasters. I think it drops tomorrow on Friday, and so definitely go check it out if you liked some of the cards you saw here or like the lore of this plane. It's definitely worth the deep dive. You have no idea how many tabs of MTG Wiki I have open on my laptop right now, where I was just looking up everything. But
Innistrad's one of the more storied ones. There's
yeah,
a
there's
lot
got some
there.
crazy stuff. It's probably my favorite plane, so definitely check out that set.
Mhm.
And thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.